Hello and welcome. Just wanted to get on today and stream a little bit, and wanted to see if anybody would show up. So what's going on today? Let's see here. It's Saturday, April 4th. What is going on today on a Saturday? Oh, nothing was really going on. Kapla, Bird of Prey 5. And how are you this day? Whoops, I forgot to switch from top chat to live. Amazon just canceled a TP order. Apparently, it was a scammer in China. A scammer? Oh, good God! How much TP? And hey, Trekkie gal, how are you? Greetings, Sean. How are you? Let's invite up. Good morning, Jeff Franklin. So apparently, Amazon has been canceling many orders. Okay, now let's go back to. Before I do that, I'm gonna copy. Of course, I got a message from Rambling on Discord. Of course, he got no notification. Let's see here now. Thankfully, no belly corns. That would be. Oh, Cinnabon, how are you? Let me clear that link out again. Well, good morning, Piano Dean. It is going pretty well. How is it going with you? Ah, Bird Prey 5.
Kapla, good morning.
Ah, and how are you this morning?
I've had better mornings, but it's not too bad.
I concur.
How you feeling after that Orville Nation stream?
Ah, you don't want to know.
Aw. What happened to Cinnabon?
I don't know. Where'd it go?
I didn't want to. Did I scare Cinnabon away?
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. What do you mean? What happened to me?
Hello, Cinnabon.
Hey guys.
What's going on?
No, nothing. Sorry to hear Bird's 2 pallets of toilet paper got canceled.
Not 2 pallets, 2 packages.
What?
My friend Zethon sent me this link. He's like, "Oh, they got it for a good price." I was like, "Yeah, okay. I guess we could order a pack or 2." And then I got the email today that this pack, regarding this order, that this seller is no longer associated with Amazon. You're protected by our A to Z guarantee. You can contact us after the expected delivery date if you don't get your item. They know damn well I'm not getting my item. And the delivery date isn't until May 14th. And they put in a tracking number. It was supposed to be coming from the United States. They put in a tracking number that's from a Chinese post office.
Oh, okay.
But it isn't even in the system. So it's not like they even shipped it. I mean, it's bad enough if it was actually coming from China. But I don't know if I feel better that it's not coming at all, or the fact that why would they even put in a fake tracking number that was from China? I mean, surely we don't, but sorry, Sassy says hi. But our toilet paper doesn't come from China to begin with.
I hope not.
I mean, it was Scott's brand toilet paper. It wasn't, some weird name.
Rambling Canuck is backstage.
Oh, cool. I just saw that. Thank you.
Yep.
Good morning, folks.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And how are you this morning, Ramblin'?
Sore but alive. Waiting for meds to kick in.
Understood. Trust me, I understand completely. So what's been going on this morning?
Well, considering I've only been awake for about an hour, not much. I'm still disgusted at how much snow we got yesterday.
How much did you ultimately get?
10 centimeters.
Oh, wonderful.
My yard was starting to show grass. And now it's not.
And now
It's just wrong.
Yeah, it was 39 degrees here yesterday, and it was raining ice. And today it's a beautiful sunny day out.
Just a complete piss off. But yeah. Oh, we lost Captain Trek.
I lost the captain.
We lost Captain
Captain's
Trek.
abandoned ship. No.
So
Captain, you're supposed
Bird,
to go down with your ship, Captain.
so Bird, how bad do you think I did on Orville Nation's show?
Oh, it was
yesterday?
good. I liked the stream. I'll be honest though. I listened to about an hour of it, then I started listening to 2 other streams at the same time while working on my video. But it was a good. And you were fighting. You were fighting at the good battle. It was really just you against the world, huh?
Well, the funny part, what made me laugh, I got my morning laugh today. And I'm not going to mention any names, but it's just, I got my morning laugh because normally when I go on somebody else's stream, the next morning I'll check the stream and just see if, anybody mentioned anything in the comments in case they were asking me a question or whatever, I could reply because I won't get notifications. So I was checking that stream and the only comment that was on there was running me into the ground. It made me laugh.
And Schroen though, it was not a mail order bride. It was toilet paper.
But yeah, no, it just made me laugh because the only comment that's on the video, last I checked, was one insulting me. So it's just like, yay, I hit a nerve.
I'm gonna go check that out now.
Good morning, Aberjam, or good afternoon, Aberjam. Excuse me.
Good afternoon, Captain Trek.
How are you?
I'm okay, thank you, sir. Just finished season 1 of Star Trek Enterprise, so now I'm embarking on season 2.
I'll eventually get there, Aberjam. Captain Trek's gonna make sure of it.
Yeah, if it kills him.
Oh, that's reassuring.
I'm thinking now, maybe you should all have a whip round for medical bills. Think you've put a blood vessel talking about it the other day.
Oh.
And I do want to once again, because I'm just overwhelmed with thanks to LDG who is in the chat. We finally got my computer working right. Well, better, not working right, better. As many of you know, I've been complaining about this computer forever. And the one thing that I hadn't done was gone back and checked where my CPU and everything was working. So LDG and I were having a conversation with Captain Trek, and it was supposed to be on something completely different. And then we got on the topic of my piece of junk computer, and he goes, "Well, let me see." So we went into Task Messenger and everything, and we found out what the main problem was. My CPU was running at 100%. And so we worked on it for about an hour and a half, and we got her down so that it's not running at 100% anymore.
Yep.
So I just want to say thank you very much for taking the time to help me get this stupid piece of junk running somewhat better.
You've probably been Bitcoin mining in the background for the Russian mafia.
Well, he did get the computer secondhand, and it had who knows what on it.
It was just when we finally went through everything, I was just like, what the hell is this dude doing here? I thought I got rid of it. What is this? No, why is this stupid program?
What is this? Keylogger.exe.
Yeah, so yeah, it was just stupid. But now my system's actually running under 25% even streaming. So I'm like, oh, cool.
There you go.
But no, it was running right at 100%, and it was like, oh, what the hell? No wonder no wonder I've been having a hard time doing anything with it. So.
No, I mean, you shouldn't have quite as much need to reboot.
Yeah, well, I didn't reboot before coming on here, where normally I would. So this is kind of my test to see if it starts to let me stream without having to reboot the computer.
Well, that would be a very unique thing for you, at least.
That was LDG did that with you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Well done. Good.
Yeah, he's going to be joining Captain Trek and I for the Enterprise reviews. So it was originally just kind of like a meeting and discussion of, okay, well, this is what Captain Trek and I have an idea for how we want the show to go, and blah blah blah. And it turned into, let's fix Robert's computer before he has to go on Orville Nations channel. So I do want to say thank you to LDG for that. It was greatly appreciated.
Yeah, it was quite an experience. I actually got some of my stuff cleaned out as well. Even though it's a new computer, there's still, bloatware that comes with it anymore. That's Windows for you.
And oddly enough, I don't know why, but one of the major things we did, which I didn't even think about, was we changed my main search program from Chrome to Firefox. Chrome was eating up like tons of processing power, and I have no idea why. But it was just something I would never think of, and then we switched from Chrome to Firefox, and it's running way better on Firefox than it ever was on Chrome.
Well, Chrome needs all of that virtual memory so they can process your personal info and send it to the FBI and the IRS, right?
But yeah, I mean, just the simplest thing of changing what program you use to search the web made it so much of a difference. It was just crazy, and it's something I would have never thought of. So, yeah.
How's my audio today? Is it still breaking up like it was, or is it better?
A little bit, but you're coming through okay.
Good. I'm trying to speak a little more slowly and deliberately, so if it's break up, I'm more easily understood. I'm on a shitty $50 phone and a crappy $5 headset, so I'm just making do with what I've got.
That's what we all do, my friend. That's what we all do. Plus, you're number one in my books because you gave me the awesome entrance to my shows. So you can.
See, I would have not guessed that. I would have figured it was, more expensive equipment that you had.
No.
Than,
Well, I use my shitty phone.
Well, your shitty phone does pretty well.
It's amazing what you can do with a couple of music apps. Just a shame about the voice.
So, how did you think it went on the on Orville Nation? Rambling.
It went well. Again, I like the fact, especially when it comes to Loki and Drew. I mean, Drew and I have had war of words on DJ's channel, and but at the end of the day, we can all still, catch you later, get you later. We're all, we can yell, we can be heated, we can be, we can debate back and forth, not give in go balls to the wall and still not be butthurt. Right?
Exactly.
And there's no
Well,
other way to put it.
Sorry, LD just asked you to join. The link should be a little bit further up in the chat if you scroll up. LDG, you should be able to click on that and join.
All right, Wookiee supremacy. What do you like much better about the Orville? And I'm assuming you mean New Trek, not the original.
In my opinion, Orville is the best Trek since probably TNG.
Like it better than all Trek? Ooh. Them's fighting words.
What was the question? What do I like better than on new Star Trek than old Star Trek?
No. Wookiee supremacy is saying that the Orville is better than all Trek that has come before.
Oh,
Oh, he says New Trek, right?
yeah,
I
no.
was talking
But if there
about
wasn't any Trek
TNG.
before, there probably wouldn't be Orville. So
No. He actually
Oh, no, he
says
did.
all
He
better
did.
than
No, you're
all
right.
Trek, including TOS.
All
Yeah,
of it.
that's maybe stretching it a little bit.
I would put Orville above a couple of tracks. I'll be honest, but not all.
Yeah,
No.
definitely.
I'd watch Orville before any of the new Trek right now.
I might put it above all first two seasons of any tracks. That would be
It
well,
really-
not TOS, not TOS,
Not TOS,
but
not
the
DS9.
'90s track. I'd say its first two seasons, especially if you count those two seasons as one season, because the number of episodes is just the same as a single season of classic Trek.
Yeah.
It's probably better than any other first season.
Yeah, I mean they really left the gate running though.
I would say
like
DS9 was obviously the exception to that rule, though. I think there were more good episodes of DS9 than there were bad. Unlike,
I agree. DS9, I think, had the best first season of new Trek. Well, of intermediate Trek, whatever, 90s
Yeah.
Trek,
yeah,
than anyone else. But it would be really close if two seasons of the Orville, first season one of DS9, which would be better episode for episode, would be really close in my opinion. Now, certainly seasons 4, 5, 6, and 7 of DS9, I would take over Orville. But season 1 of DS9 versus seasons 1 and 2 of Orville, or even season 1.5, say the first half of the second season, first Orville, the equal number of Orville episodes, I'd probably say Orville still takes the cake.
the only reason I would not choose Orville now is because of where it's going to be. And,
Where's it going to be?
well, it's not on TV
we're going
anymore.
to Hulu, aren't
Oh, Hulu?
Yes.
You mean
Yes.
because it's on Hulu?
Correct.
But it should give them more freedom, which is good. And that's one of the good things about Orville, in my opinion at least, is that it just seems to, right now at least, it just seems to get stronger and stronger the more they go on. By the way, you keep an eye out for LDG, Captain Trek, in the backstage.
Oh, well, let's see here.
I don't know if they're gonna-
'Cause I'm not seeing anyone backstage. That's why I was.
maybe having some technical issues. I don't know.
Let me send out another invite.
Hey, Joseph.
Good morning, Jedi Bill.
I'm surprised with the number that's shown up so far. Come on, somebody else has got to come up on the panel, otherwise Andy Sharker's going to show up in one end.
I was gonna say, think quick before the turn arrives.
There.
That man, he keeps going on at me about writing more songs and teaming up with Piano D all the time. He's still holding on 2 songs that I gave him 4 weeks ago, and he's saying, "Oh, I'll make a video," but he still hasn't.
That's okay. You gotta eat. Aberjam, you have to help out Darren Wagner. Anti-Tracker keeps hounding you for a song. The next song you make for him, you sneak in the line, "Where is Hulk?"
Excuse me. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, LDG.
It's an LD.
Hello.
It's a split broadcast. Oh, there we go.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, bad news. So the brand new PC I bought to stream, I have to return.
Oh no.
And yeah, so $2,400 down the drain. Well, not down the drain, but I have to return it and get something else. But that's my fault for buying a PC on the fly because I needed something right away. And I went to the store instead of building my own like I usually do. So I ended up getting some faulty Alienware, and it literally crashes once a day. But
Lovely.
yeah, I'll be taking care of that later today. The thing that sucks is I put all my data on it, so now I have to pull that off before I repackage it. And I do IT remote services, so I have terabytes of data.
Oh,
I need to
fun.
transfer.
But I do want to thank you again for taking the time to take a look at this piece of junk.
Absolutely. Well, see, it was originally we were talking about the Enterprise,
Yeah.
and then we were talking about how we would share
Share
how
stuff.
we would host it and everything. And that's the original thing. And then
Yeah.
you said you were getting on a stream. So I was like, well, let me really take a look at your laptop because I've noticed like you've been cutting out. And I don't know if it's my internet or if that's you, but then Captain Trek said, no, it's him. I'm like, well, let's really get you taken care of. If you know what I mean? It's like makeup. You're about to get on there. I'm like, okay, we need to fix you up right now. We can talk about Enterprise later. Let's get you taken care of. No worries. No invoice. We'll get you taken care of, boss.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad
Send all
that
invoices care of Captain Trek.
Oh Lord. So I was like, yeah, let's just get that taken care of because it's gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And get you going forward. Because as soon as I saw you running at 100%, I'm like, why is your computer not melting right now? Like that is like 100%. It wasn't even flickering. It was 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like running a marathon while you're trying to sleep. Your heart's racing at 300 beats per minute always.
Yep.
So I'm glad we got that figured out.
Yeah, it's settled down now. So.
And the worst thing was, I'm glad we were able to fix it without me having to say, okay, you have to reinstall Windows.
Yeah.
Because that's always the
and on this one, that would be brutal. That would be
Yeah.
brutal because this one doesn't even have a CD drive.
Exactly. And
So you're hooped.
And it's hard to do that remotely. You know what I mean? I'm pretty good to do a lot of things remotely, but reinstalling Windows is one of those things I can't do remotely. We would have to do some crazy thing like call me on the phone and talk you through it kind of thing.
Pull a grenade, drop grenade, walk away.
Run.
I'm glad we got that fixed up, and good. I'm glad it worked out for you. I'm trying to fix my my scene here, guys. Give me a second. Pardon me.
I'm gonna drop out a bit and have lunch. If there's still a spot, I'll come back later.
Okay, well, thanks for coming on, Bird, and thanks
thank you
for giving me the feedback on how I did.
No problem. Good to be here.
Enjoy lunch.
I'll still be listening.
Camera.
Of course.
Feedback on how I did.
Camera.
No problem.
It's like my camera doesn't exist anymore.
Of course.
Where is this thing?
Hello, Wesley Crusher. I wasn't looking at the chat, so I didn't even know you came in. Sorry. And I said hi to you, Jeff Franklin. So you also
So is
snuck up
anybody-
on and said hi to you.
Is anybody else going to be watching the train wreck that will be WrestleMania?
No.
No. Oh,
Oh, I know
Yeah,
what's going on. Okay, here
That's
we
a
go.
big fat no from everybody.
Yes.
Not a
it,
strong no, though, Ramblin'. You could actually convince me if you sell it.
well, okay. It's going to be interesting, and I think that in a way, if you're going to watch any WrestleMania, this would be the one to watch because they're going to have to pull out every stop they can because there's going to be no crowd, so they're not going to be able to rely on the crowd to pull a match through, or to there's no crowd.
Right.
So, and the other thing is like they're having matches that are not that you couldn't pull off during a normal WrestleMania, right? Because they learned in WrestleMania 2 that having multiple locations for a show sucks when you have a live crowd, because then you're basically making your live crowd watch a screen, which doesn't work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this WrestleMania, because there's no crowd, the matches are going to be shot in multiple locations. And they're going to actually have a couple where it's going to be almost like a movie like a movie like feel to it. Like the Cena and the Fiend, which is Bray Wyatt, if you know who that is. Anyway, they're going to have a match that is basically like a horror funhouse match, and they're going to be able to go all out because there's no crowd to worry about. Right? So they're going to be able to make Bray Wyatt disappear, reappear, all that fun shite. They're going to have a boneyard match between The Undertaker and AJ Styles. Undertaker is teasing coming back as the Biker Taker, not the Dead Man. So that could be interesting to see how it's going to play out because, again, it's going to be off-site. It's going to be in a different location. And again, they don't have to worry about, well, what is the crowd at the main stadium thinking of having to watch a TV screen?
Mhm.
So they can go all out. So in a way, over the next 2 nights, because they've divided WrestleMania into 2 nights now, which is good because last year was damn dreadful, including the pre-show last year, okay? WrestleMania lasted, if you watched it, including the pre-show, it was over 8.5 hours long.
Oh my God.
And I'm not even kidding. I'm not exaggerating. WrestleMania last year was a good 7 to 8 hours long, including the pre-show.
What?
That's a little bit too much wrestling for me.
Right? That was in one sitting. Okay, so you had to sit for 7 hours. You know, if you take off the pre-show, you're looking at 6.5 to 7 hours just to see the main event, right?
Right.
And it was crazy. So this year they're separating it. They're doing it over 2 nights. One because WWE is money hungry, and this is actually going to be on pay-per-view and the fight app. So they've separated into 2 nights, so you can, for whatever reason, order tonight and not tomorrow. Or you can order both in a bundle for $60, or you can go on the now, this is the part that makes me laugh. Okay, here's the best part about the whole thing. You can turn around. You can go pay-per-view nowadays makes no sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
For this simple fact, okay, you have people the option to pay $60 for both nights for WrestleMania on the Fight app, okay? Or $60 for pay-per-view to watch both nights, so you pay $60. Great. If you live in the United States, that makes about as much sense as stepping in front of oncoming traffic. Because right now, on the WWE Network, they're offering a free month.
Yep.
Oh,
And on the network in the States, because it is different depending on where you are, but in the States, if you go to WWE.com and you get the network, you get a free month. and WrestleMania is on the network live. So
Well, there you go,
why
yeah.
in the hell you would spend $60 to watch something you can watch for free? I don't know. And even if the network wasn't free and you actually had to pay for it, okay, to get the network it's $9.99. Right? So why in the hell would anybody who are these people spending $60 in the US to watch a pay-per-view they could watch for $10?
Old people that don't know how to use the internet.
Right? It just baffles my mind. It just I just sit back and laugh because you still have people doing the pay-per-view buy, and it's just like, okay, if you're in the United States, that makes no sense to me. I mean, in Canada, it's a little different because to get the WWE network, you have to go through your cable provider, yada, yada, yada. It's a bunch of red tape and bullshit. But right. So, but in the States, if you live in the States, that makes no sense to me because you just go to WWE.com and you sign up for your free month and you get WrestleMania for free and then you cancel after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
And it's like, I don't understand why anybody in the United States would spend $60 on a pay-per-view they could get for, at bare minimum, $10.
I don't even understand why WWE
Okay, I'll
would
correct
set
you
it
and-
up like that.
I'll correct you and say the bare minimum is actually free if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, because right now WWE Network is free for, right? But
That's one way.
Yeah, okay, I'm not including the high seas, LDG.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to do it legit, why would you spend $60 when at bare minimum, if you have to pay something, it's $10 to get the network, and then you can watch every WrestleMania from start to finish because it's all on the network, and every Raw from the Attitude Era for $10. But yet there's people that will go out and spend $60 to watch WrestleMania when they could get it for free. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Well, there's a lot of people that pay for stuff that they can get for free. So
Exactly.
It's just,
They don't know that they can play apps on their TV. It's like, I want to watch it on TV. I don't want to watch it on my phone. Well, you can cast it to your TV, you idiot.
Mm-hmm. Well, the network isn't an app, not anymore. It's online. So
Right.
so I mean, you're going on the internet. So that's just transferring your computer to your TV.
Yeah, you can still cast your computer to your TV. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's difficult, though.
Yeah.
Well, the older you are, it is.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the funniest story I ever have about computers is back when I was a teenager and my dad was still alive. We were getting cable in the new house and internet, of course, for me. And I had told the cable company, don't come in until after 5 because I work till 5. So come around 6 o'clock, I'll be home and I'll be able to help out the tech guy. And they're like, okay. So they show up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And my dad's home, and the tech asks my dad, well, okay, what kind of windows does this computer have? And my dad looked at him and said, well, I know there's a screen on it, but I've never seen what kind of windows it has on the exterior.
Like I figured where you were going with that, but it still took a second for me to get it.
Yeah, that was my dad's comment. I have no idea what kind of window it is on. I mean, I know it's got a screen on the front of it, but
The captain
a
looks like
TV
Jeff
screen.
Franklin is backstage.
But I've never seen a window on
Thank
the
you.
thing, so I couldn't tell you. Yeah.
It's like the
Yeah.
guy
It
who
was
broke
Jeff
his cup
Franklin.
holder.
Hi,
Broke
Captain
my cup
Shark.
holder on my PC. We talking about, you know, that little button that comes out the cup holder. Oh, the CD-ROM. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, my dad was trying on my mom's computer. This was a few years ago. And he kept trying to open the CD tray. Well, I pushed the big blue button, which happened to be the power button,
Power button.
and he kept pushing it over and over and over again. And it's like, no. At that point, he was banned from getting near the computer.
Well, I laugh
He has to be
because
supervised.
see, my brother could never go on these streams right? Unless it was just him, he could never stream. Because my brother, I don't know if anybody knows what Poker Stars is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my brother is the only person I know that got a 3-month ban for telling people off.
Oh my god.
That's funny.
It's pretty difficult to get banned
Poker?
from a poker site.
Yeah, right.
He got a 3-month ban. He could play poker. He just couldn't chat for 3 months.
Media pending. There we go.
Yeah. So.
And what's
I used to
going
love
on,
playing
Jeff
cards
Franklin?
over those sites, but ever since the U.S. government decided to crack down on it, it's been terrible.
See, I wonder if I could host and invite you to a game because I'm up in Canada.
Oh, we can still play in the for fun rooms. We just can't
Yeah.
play in the money rooms.
Yeah. But could you get invited?
I'm sure we could, yeah.
Because, like, if I'm hosting, I'm in Canada, so your laws don't apply to me, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Does-
Or you just get a cheap virtual machine in like Russia or something.
Yeah. But no, I just because that was the thought I had was, well, couldn't I just host the damn thing? Because it's technically would be on a Canadian server.
That's the problem with the internet. The government likes to think they can make laws, but there's a way around it all. There's no way. The internet's free. Like, end of story. Nice try, government. You really can't do jack squat. I mean, you
Unless
can only
they
do
pull
certain
plug.
things, yeah. There's only certain things you can do, but even then, it's pointless. That's why I laugh when people pay for things that it's free.
Yeah, I think doing a poker night would be a lot of fun.
Poker night would be great. I would love to do some
I haven't
poker.
done that in a long time. Used to do that
Oh yeah,
in real life.
I used to play prominence poker. That was my favorite one.
I'll be honest, I've never played poker, so I would be not good at it.
You'd actually probably be really good at it if you haven't played.
All right, my clean eyeball. All right.
Excuse me. Jesus.
Save. Are you guys seeing my my Premiere program right now?
We are.
Yes.
Cool. All right, so it worked. So I was telling you yesterday I was going to try to set up something so I can show, you can see how I edit things and set things up and stuff. All right. Exports, media. Yes, by the way, all the software is legit. Everything, nothing here out of the ordinary. All right. Yeah.
And Trekkie Gal, I understand I understand what you're saying. Wrestling can be bad because kids will inherently try to act it out.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, that's my only issue with that is I look at it like, well, wrestling isn't the only one. I mean, if you think about it, when I was young, when I was 8, 9, the big thing was be Power Rangers. Never mind WWE, Power Rangers. That was the big thing.
Yep.
And so I think it's an unfair criticism that gets thrown at wrestling because let's face it, there are other things that people do. It's just wrestling gets highlighted more.
If I can shine a light on that, for you it was Power Rangers, but people my age it was Tom and Jerry.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this isn't even a new thing. Like this goes back forever.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the Middle Ages, they had those puppet shows of hitting people over the head with pans and stuff, and kids were doing the same thing. It's always it's being
really
ready
up
to be exposed to the content. You just don't. Okay, so if you have a brand new dog, you just don't open up the front door and say, "Hey, go."
Yeah,
Experience the life. You got to teach the dog first before then they know don't cross the street. Same
when
thing
it came when it came to my kids, they would watch it, but it would be like, no, this is like your video games, right? You don't. This isn't for you to do. This is and you have to crack down, right? And that usually corrects that issue.
Usually, at least if you have any influence, yeah.
Well, I'm a McMahon, so I'm Big Bad Dad.
So you've been quiet, Jeff. How you been doing, man?
Hanging in there.
Good to hear. Don't get to
Yeah.
talk very often on these things, so it's nice to see you here.
Well, thank you. Thank you for letting me in, Captain Trek.
Of course. It's always nice to have a different mix of people in the stream.
And Trekkie Gal, I agree with you. Looney Tunes was awesome, and no, I wouldn't drop an anvil on anybody either. But yes, that was a good show.
You would imagine it, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, it happened.
Yeah, there are a few people I'd like to drop anvils on.
Oh yeah, well I
hear you,
didn't
man.
say I said I wouldn't. I didn't say I didn't want to. If we're going with want to, well, there's a list and a half.
At least.
Okay, I fixed my eyeball. Woo. Too much fun.
Pretty
I
much
need some more
anyone in-
coffee.
In Hollywood right now would be on my list.
Who wouldn't be on your list in Hollywood right now? That would be a good question.
Probably a shorter list.
Much shorter. People who we don't want to hit with an anvil in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's a challenging question, to say the least.
See, that would be the much shorter list than
Here are your lines. Please stand on the X. Oh, don't worry. It's CGI. That's why we need you to stand on the X, please. So don't move off that X, okay? Whatever you do, don't move off that X. We're adding CGI. Don't move off that X, folks. It's very important.
Why are we not supposed to look up? What's wrong with it?
It'll screw up the CGI. Don't do that.
The thing actors
Cool.
are good at is hitting a mark.
Yeah.
All right, you guys remember what was that movie? Death. Bruce Willis. Yippee ki Die Hard.
Hard.
Okay, the original Die Hard. I don't know if you knew this. Remember the scene where the guy fell off the building at the very end?
Yeah.
Okay, that was blue screen, right? Or green screen, whatever. It was chromed. They they did kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, listen, we're gonna count to 3, and then we're gonna let go. And then before they did it, they told the guy who was holding rope, said, listen, let go on 2. So that's that scene that you see is actually him thinking something went wrong.
I love that.
And I watched it again. I'm like, holy crap.
We want to talk about
Hilarious.
comedic weird bullying.
You're breaking up, Aberjam.
If
You're breaking up, I think, Buzz.
you've ever seen RoboCop, there's a scene where the CEO guy goes out the window and he's falling. And if you look at his am I not coming through well?
A little bit, cutting in and out.
It's that Kurogan internet.
Okay, I'll try one more time. Yeah. In RoboCop, when they push the CEO out the window, if you look at his arms, he's got these weird fake arms. They're about 50% too long. You know, really strange.
What was he saying?
If I heard it right, the when they throw the guy out the window, his arms are too long.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to watch that again then.
Yeah, in the movie RoboCop. Yeah.
RoboCop.
Which one? Which RoboCop?
The original?
The original, the remake.
Oh wait, you're talking about the old man with the white hair and crap, the president guy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll have to watch that again. RoboCop was a good movie. Back when they knew how to make movies, and even the mistakes they made were just like, just production times. Like Die Hard was another one where the truck went in, and if you noticed, it didn't have an ambulance. It didn't have a getaway car in it, and then all of a sudden at the end, the ambulance came out of the truck. It's like, where the hell the ambulance came from? But they were like, it's we're just going to live with it. We're already done. I doubt anybody will notice it, and then everybody noticed it. I was like, wait a second.
There's just something about movies, something about movies from the 80s, the age of steel and metal.
Yeah.
Just something about that making that you can't recapture. It's a flavor all own.
You might want to try reconnecting. Is that Aberjam, right?
Yes, that's Aberjam.
You might want to try reconnecting, or maybe even reboot your computer, or get closer to the router. Are you on Wi-Fi?
He's on Krogan internet.
Yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi.
You're on Krogan internet?
I'm like 3 feet. Yeah, I'm 3 feet from the router, so I couldn't get much
okay.
better.
Yeah, it's on a cheap cell phone.
It seems this is it seems this is the normal thing for me. So I'm going to leave you to it.
Oh, well, thank you for joining us, Aberjam.
Thank you for having me. Take it easy.
You
We'll
too.
do the rest of this
Have a
week.
good night, Aberjam. Or Dave.
Take care, Aberjam.
So what has everyone else been doing today? How about you, Cinnamon?
Me? Nothing. I was just screwing around in Blender again, trying to relearn all the buttons.
Yeah, Cinnamon, I saw you making something yesterday. Oh, what was that about?
I was just making a background hallway to throw the bunnies in.
Oh,
I was
okay.
going to make it a more sci-fi hallway than what I have.
And how are you going to make it more sci-fi?
Well, I was gonna make it look like an enterprise corridor.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It looked
Yeah.
techy, whatever you were doing. Did look kind of. First, it looked like you were making a view screen, and then it looked into the hallway, and I'm like, what's he doing?
Yeah, I thought it was a TNG style corridor.
Yeah, that's what it was gonna be.
Yeah, it was definitely
scrapped it.
definitely got that feel from it.
To
Did you
restart
cut
it.
out an outline, or was that like raw from scratch?
Just from scratch, just from my
Wow,
head.
that's cool. That's cool.
And but when I stopped working on that, it screwed up, and I just wanted to start over.
Is that Velcro?
Yes, I'm sorry.
It's either
But
Velcro or
it's been
something
so
else.
long since I've used that program, I've just forgotten what all the shortcut buttons are. So I was just kind of using last night also to figure out, just to relearn the program again. Other than that, yeah, I just pretty much woke up when I jumped on the stream. So
Is Picard having a breakdown or something? LDG?
He's like, I can't take any more of this. Floating fucking eyeball. I'm done. That's it. Check, please. I'm out of here. I this is no more. I quit. Goodbye. I'm out. Number one. Oh god, I'm sorry. I'm having fun with XSplit. But yeah, I definitely learned the importance of saving your scenes separately. Do not just put your scene in there and keep it. You have to save it, reload it later when you need it. because there is no undo in function. Who the hell did decide? Let's have an undo function. No, we'll skip that. Yeah, okay. You screw up one thing, that's it. It's screwed up. You better put that thing back exactly the way it was. If you hit a reset button, you're screwed. So you better save your scenes as you go. And then
That's
if you want
crazy.
to take it a step further, you save them in version numbers. So this
That's
would be
what I was
the
just
card
thinking.
Eyeball V1. Mm-hmm. Yep. That way you can always come back. You can screw it up and just reload it, and you know that when you have that saved, it's going to bring back exactly what you had when you were like, oh, this is good. This is good. And then mainly because you can't even rename a scene button, so that's also not helpful. The OBS got a lot more. They've done a lot more in OBS. The little things and XSplit, they're still seems like they're still in development on this. This is like beta. This is not, but it's pretty good still though. I mean,
Are you using the paid version though?
I'm using the paid version that's free because I bought a camera that gives me 3 months free.
Okay.
Of the premium.
Oh.
Yeah,
So,
I just have the free one, so I know I'm limited to like what is it, 1 or 2 scenes or something.
oh yes, I don't know the differences between the premium part of it, which sucks, but yeah. No, I'm using the paid premium version, and I'm liking it. It's you definitely need a good computer to push a lot of the advanced stuff because your computer has to generate it live. I mean, it's not like a movie where you just render it and come back 2 weeks later and it's done, and then it gets
right. Well, it's a huge difference between OBS because when I use XSplit just as my camera feed, it just eats up a shit ton of memory and CPU. So
make sure that you go into your settings and enable it, like force it to use your GPU.
I'm on a laptop,
go into settings.
so it wouldn't even matter.
It depends on what type of laptop you have. If you have a laptop that has an NVIDIA card, then it's still valid.
Yeah, it does. I should try that.
Still valid because your processor, you're gonna pull a rambling where your processor's at 100% when it doesn't need to be.
Oh yeah, when XSplit's running, I'm one of my cores is completely maxed out.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, just go into settings and it's under advanced video processing mode. It's usually set to use legacy. Make sure you set it to use preferred GPU for video processing.
Okay. Yeah, because right now I'm just using the out of the box settings right now.
Yeah, that should help you out a little bit. Also, make sure you have your startup on your laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Go into your task manager and turn off any of the BS you don't need starting it up.
Oh yeah, I did that. Did that a long time ago.
Absolutely. Number 1.
I can tell a Diet Coke when I hear it.
Shh. I don't
damn it.
for my sponsorship money.
Well, you should have them as a sponsor for all you drink.
I know, right? I've got enough empty boxes to literally wallpaper my house with it. So give me a call, Diet Coke. We'll make a deal.
Right.
You're gonna make a deal with Diet Coke while drinking Diet Pepsi?
Oh, shit.
Right after they make a deal, I'll switch to Pepsi and be like, fuckers. Where's my deal, Pepsi?
Did you hear about the I think it was it the Pepsi driver who got fired because he got out of his, like, this is years ago. It was a story that I read where a Pepsi driver got fired because he got a picture of him went viral stepping out of a Pepsi truck with a Coke in his hand.
That's funny. That is wrong.
Awesome, though.
Wrong.
The next picture was him carrying cases of Coke out to his truck.
Yeah.
But it's not even funny because when I worked for Disney, they made us sign paperwork that we would not I couldn't even bring lunch to my own family if they worked for Universal.
Oh yeah, I heard Disney is like some of the craziest, strictest rules.
Yeah, I'm serious. Absolutely. But literally, like, I took it to the extreme. I'm like, okay, so I can't work for Universal, but because my father worked for Universal, I was like, if I had to go like give my dad some lunch at Universal, you can't even do that. I'm like, are you effing kidding me? Really?
Insane.
Yeah.
Well,
It's amazing how.
We are talking Disney, so.
But it's not just Disney. It's the fact that we let them have this power, and that's what really pisses me off. It's our fault. We have the right, just like Coke and Pepsi. Pepsi. What was it? Because everybody called Pepsi Coke. Coke tried suing Pepsi for copyright or something like that, but it was thrown out because the people were the ones calling it Coke.
Yeah.
Because we were doing it, we overridden the law.
There's one.
And that's how it's supposed to work.
Coke.
Well, I think if you really want to throw in names of companies that are a little heavy-handed and overbearing, you got to mention the WWE. Vince can be like just downright psycho.
Yeah, I heard that
He's
too.
fired people because there was one wrestler that had friends that worked in TNA, which is another wrestling company. He was in the audience. He bought a ticket. He was in street clothes. He was way up in the rafters, right off the hard cam, the whole 9 yards. But because the camera panned and accidentally caught him, Vince fired him for being seen on a competition's TV. He got fired.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, he got his stick up his butt too because WWF. He's guilty of the same smack. WWF was taken by another company, and he had to change it to WWE.
World Wildlife Fund. Yep.
So he got his. I don't know if he lost any money over it. I don't look that up, but
not really.
He did have to retroactively change it across the board. Even the old recordings had to be updated, I believe.
They had to do a couple of little changes, but overall, I mean, that was one that Vince just kind of went, screw it, and didn't really fight as hard as he normally does, and he just changed the name of the show because he's always been trying to make the WWE for years now more of an entertainment angle. So in a way, it gave him an excuse to change the name.
He had no choice. That was his logical next step after everybody finally realized wrestling was fake.
Well, he went on TV and announced it.
Well, yeah, but that was that he was forced to do that.
Oh no,
he knew
he could have kept. People had always had. Well, how can this guy get dropped on his head and then the next week be okay? Exactly. Right? There's things like that all the time. The difference was back then what they tried to do is, well, I think that guy's bullshit. I think that guy's bullshit, but then you'd look at like a Brock Lesnar character. Oh no, anything he does is 100%, right? But he might be a little shady. That one might be a little shady, but anything he does, just the way they could talk and sell it. Vince didn't necessarily have to, but he did it for multiple reasons. One, he got sick and tired of having to deal with the sports commissioners. Got sick and tired of them because they'd come in and they'd make, each state has different rules, right?
Yes.
So you'd have it where I'm just spitballing. I don't know if this actually was the thing, so don't quote me. But you'd have, just as an example, you'd have, like, let's say New York, okay? New York, let's say, because New York is technically the home of WWE, Madison Square Gardens. they could get away with anything. Then they go down to Kentucky, and it's against the fight regulations for blood to be in a match, and they've scheduled a Hell in a Cell.
Sorry to interrupt you. Hey, Eddie Trekker. Yeah, all is well. We're just rambling with rambling.
Right. So then the sports commissioner would be on site, and then if there was blood in any of the matches, they'd get sued. So Vince needed to get away from it being looked at as an actual sport, because he needed to get rid of the commissioners, the athletic commissioners. There we go. That's the word I was looking for.
That's the word.
Yeah, they had to get rid of. He had to get them off his back. So his way of getting them off the back was, "We're not a sport, you morons. We're entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
You have no jurisdiction over us. We're not a sport. We're entertainment."
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really forced him, because he got sick and tired of having to bend the knee to these athletic commissioners, and most of them were basically put there by political appointment. So they had basically no freaking idea what they were talking about in the first place. However, they were the buddy of the governor. So, or whatever, right? Buddy of the mayor, buddy of the governor, what have you. And so they would come in and they'd be like, yeah, no going over the top rope. That's illegal. Well, that's not allowed here. And they'd have to pander to each one of them. And the rules would change depending on where they were. So, yeah, they had to get rid of the athletic commissioners. So they had to. They really had to push it home that it was entertainment, not sports.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, there we go. Copy this.
And Mr. Lindell is right. He was calling it sports entertainment long before the lawsuit, the name lawsuit, and that's why he was calling it sports entertainment, because he had to get rid of the athletic commissioners, because they were just being a pain. They were becoming a major pain in his rear end, and he needed to get them gone, because he'd have to formulate the show so that each state he went in had a different athletic commission, and the athletic commission, each one had different rules. There were certain athletic commissioners that would not allow over the top rope. Well, there goes a Royal Rumble. So they had to really drive it home, but in doing so, they lifted the curtain, right? So now you know how the magician does the tricks, right? So it was, to get one way, you had to kind of kick your own industry in the nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the way it had to be, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I'll stop boring your audience, Captain Trek.
Oh, trust me, if you were boring, I would have kicked you long before. It's kind of interesting learning some of the different insights. I like how you're able to correlate some of the things that, how this also goes into what another industry is like.
Oh, yeah. I can do that all day long. So does everybody on the panel, and I know that nobody is really wrestling fans, but does anybody know who Kevin Nash is?
Yeah.
If I say Kevin Nash, okay. Mm-hmm. You want to see? You want the biggest laugh in the world?
Okay.
Okay. Hold on. Let me open something here, and I will give you the biggest laugh of the world. So what I'm going to show you, okay? Now we all know Kevin Nash for Diesel in the WWF, right? Or Kevin Nash in WCW when he got the NWO marker.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to show you a picture of Kevin Nash's original run in WCW, and you will never look at Kevin Nash the same again. Never will you look at Kevin Nash the same. I promise you. Oh, whatever. Come on. Well, no, Firefox is yelling at me right now, and I don't know why. What is your problem? Why won't you let me show you, stupid? Oh, you're pissing me off now. Okay, whatever. Okay, why won't it let me share screen now? No, it won't let me. God damn it. Okay, hold on. I gotta figure out why it won't let me share screen. Firefox is being a retarded pain in my ass. This is the first time I've tried to share screen under Firefox, and now it's yelling at me.
Was saying something specific?
Yeah, Firefox is blocking it. It won't let me do it.
Check the URL bar at the top. Look at the left or right. Do you see a little icon that looks like it needs clicking? In the URL at the top, maybe the left of it or the right of it, there might be a little icon. If you click it, it says
here we
share
go.
this.
Yeah. Okay. Get rid of this. Okay, now. This is annoying because now I'm going to have to go back to Chrome if I can't share screen.
You should be able to.
It won't let me. It won't even let me allow. It'll just give me the not allow. This is stupid. Firefox cannot permit access to your screen. I'm dead serious. This is stupid.
1 second.
What the hell?
Vertebrae says, "Hey, also Blazing Saddles won for next week's Cinema Saturday. Voting is now
There
open."
we go. I think I got it. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Oh, is Bird doing a chair life today?
Okay, there you go. Put that up, Captain Trek.
Okay.
What in the hell?
I give
What
you
the-
the wizard.
Oh my god.
That's
Kevin
him?
Nash's. That is Kevin Nash's original gimmick in WCW. I give you the wizard.
Wow.
You will never look at Kevin Nash the same again.
Throw up a picture of what he normally looks like.
Oh God, now I gotta Google that.
Oh, sorry.
This one I have
think
saved.
we are.
'cause
We're all.
okay, never mind.
now.
Yeah, I sent it to Kevin. I sent it to Loki and Drew as a joke. But yeah, this is his original gimmick, the wizard.
Oh my god. It's time to take that one back to the drawing board.
And then he went to the WWF and became Diesel. But yeah, this is his original. This is his original gimmick in WCW. You're
It's
welcome.
funny. I look at his hair in a whole different way now.
You're welcome.
No, seriously, like I'm looking this up and I'm like, holy moly!
You're welcome.
Oh my lord! I can't unsee that. Okay. That was funny.
That was his original gimmick. And it's funny because to this day, if he's asked about it in interviews, he tries to get away from that topic as fast as possible.
I could imagine.
Yeah.
I could imagine.
Well, and then there was
drop that picture to get autographed.
and then oh yeah,
Oh.
run. And then there was the time that they wanted to cut Ric Flair's hair and give him an ear piercing. That was Vince Russo's brilliance. That was WCW's brilliance.
And why is that?
Because they wanted to change up Ric Flair. That was one of the reasons why Ric Flair left with the title to WWF.
Wow, Anti-Tracker says the governor of Tennessee is now making everyone wear face masks when they go outside. We don't have that here yet, thank God.
I knew we went back to face masks, and I couldn't believe that someone they were saying how the what was it? Surgeon General said washing your hands is more effective than wearing a face mask. I'm like, dude, you freaking moron. Don't lie to the people. Washing your hands and wearing a face mask is better. And now we're back to face masks.
Of course.
Because we realized that the virus getting into your lungs is 10 times more infective than if it getting on your skin, which you've been washing 10 times a day.
Can I just have a space capsule and an unlimited amount of popcorn and Coke and just kind of go up into space and watch the world burn? By Coke, I mean Coca-Cola Classic.
I knew exactly what you meant.
You know, can I just go, go into my own little personal space capsule and watch the world burn?
Oh, you'd need at least a 3-month supply, so you
Yeah.
might want a little food there. Some dehydrated steak or
Yeah, something. Yeah, just sit back and chuckle and watch everything go crazy. Ooh, look, I can see an explosion. What happened down there? Oh, I guess I'll find out when I go back. If I go back.
So, what time is Cinema Saturday?
I am not sure. Usually in the afternoon sometimes.
Yeah, I figured since Bird was listening, he may.
Yeah, he said he was going away from his keyboard. He's getting into his chair. That's why I was wondering if he was doing a chair life instead today, but I forgot today is Saturday.
Unless Mama Prey is making him go out.
Just kicking him out for the day. So Anti-Trigger's printing his mask with this 3D printer. I'm actually wondering how he's doing that.
I think he means the mask that you wear for 3D printing. When you're doing, like, you're gonna 3D print a mask, or is it a mask you wear while doing 3D printing?
He's printing a mask for the medical mask that you have to wear outside now. So I'm wondering if he's using a different plastic, because here there would be a hard shell plastic mask, but I'm guessing he's using something else that's more flexible.
Well, we could always just dress him up like Sub-Zero.
Right?
Right.
Or Scorpion. There we go.
Make it a full suit of armor.
Yeah. Well,
I guess technically you could do it, right? You like a Sub-Zero mask, and then I don't know, put one of those antiseptic wipes in the inside of it, and just walk around with it.
Mm-hmm.
Something.
Yeah, I'm curious if it is the completely hard-shelled plastic, or if he's using a more pliable kind. He's probably showing it on his other channel.
Yeah.
Is he on? Is he on?
On his Rational Roundtable, he's been.
Yeah, the Rational Roundtable has been printing constantly.
Well, wait, he has a channel just for his printer.
Yes.
Why don't people tell me this stuff? Where is it? Where is it?
Hold on, give me a second.
Come on, damn it.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
well,
That's
actually,
one-
Rational Roundtable isn't for his printer. It's his old channel.
Well, it's his
Uh,
old channel, yes, but
His secondary backup. Printer. It's his old.
Whoops.
That's where normally the religious streams on Sunday would have been, but due to recent events, he's moved that show to the main channel, and then he's put the printer on Rational Roundtable.
and he'd wanted to put the printer on except during Rational Roundtable.
Looks like
And
Joseph is backstage.
Oh, I see it.
Here is the
Okay.
link.
Subscribing to that. I found it. Thank you, though. Yeah, I was able to repeat printer in
And
progress.
Joseph.
Well, that's-
Hey, Joseph.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello,
Joseph.
Joseph.
So, if the talk
That's a lot
about
of
wrestling is over,
Yeah, it's over.
Aww.
I can come in, yeah, because I have zero knowledge about wrestling, so I
me too.
could not give you any of my positions about it, and honestly, I don't care about wrestling at all.
Well, Yosef, if it makes you feel any better, if you go into some of the wrestling forums these days, you're a perfect candidate to give your opinion.
You know what? It's the same. Like during major sports events, everybody here is a coach. When there is like now this health crisis, everybody is a certified doctor and knows all the best things. So I pretty much am sure that I would be the perfect wrestling specialist on those forums.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Well,
ridiculous. I don't talk about topics that I cannot bring something to or put something on table, because then I just sound stupid, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'll finish it
There's
by
a
putting
market for
this.
that.
I'll finish that conversation off by talking about the stupidest thing that ever hit the internet yesterday in regards to WWE. And it was yesterday or the day before. Anyway, yeah, yesterday, because yesterday was Wednesday. Sorry, so Thursday it hit, and that was AEW, which is the biggest competitor to, like, financially to WWE. Okay, they were doing tapings on Wednesday, and the police showed up and almost shut down their tapings because of where they were and restrictions and that. So what goes viral the next day? WWE sends the police to shut down AEW. Like, I'm not even kidding. This went viral, and it was just like, really, folks. So yeah,
And are they recording without an audience or with audience?
without.
Without audience. Okay, so based depending on what restrictions you have, how many people can be in, let's say, one location? You know.
Yeah, so the wrestlers were just giving it to each other.
Yeah, you have maybe two wrestlers without social distancing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the
Tag
question
team.
is how many people were there as well? You know, because if you have something like you can have 10 people in one room, and there were, you know, the stuff like cameraman. And all the production stuff, you can get up to 30 people easily.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty much understandable if there's something like this. But yeah, definitely saying that the competitor
Yeah, it was automatic.
shut them down.
Yeah, it was automatically that Vince must have phoned up the police and used his powers to send them in to shut down the show. It was like, oh, come on.
He could have done that.
He could have
done. Yeah, because
he could have.
How
and
else would they know? Like,
but that's
well, it leaked
pitiful
online.
kind of action. Yeah,
It leaked online where their location was, and then that day the police showed up.
And obviously, I'm not sure if it's the same law over there, but the police has to go there when they know about something, because otherwise it would be considered negligence.
Yeah, so they were there. They watched the entire show, and it met code. So whatever, no harm, no foul. But yeah, it was just funny because it automatically had to be Vince or somebody from WWE that had sent them. And it was like, no, chill, relax, breathe. Vince is vindictive, but I don't think he really cares. He's got enough things on his mind trying to pull off WrestleMania.
right.
Even though he should have postponed it. But, you know, Vince never does. Vince just won't.
Why is that?
He's a hard ass.
Yeah, he's stubborn. Absolutely stubborn. Well, see, Vince has some really interesting quirks. One, if you sneeze in front of him, he'll get mad at you. Even in the
Mhm.
best of times, he'll get mad at you because you should be able to control that.
Sneezing.
Yeah, sneezing. Um,
The
sleep-
fastest reflex in a human body, by the way.
Yeah, he feels that sleep is the enemy. Because he will phone, like, to be on his staff is a nightmare. If you talk to anybody who has worked directly under Vince after the fact, they tell you it's a nightmare because he's the type of person that will phone you at 2:00 in the morning and go, okay, so let's talk about Raw. What are we doing on Raw? 2:00 in the morning. You got to be ready to go. Because he's that's all he does. He eats, breathes, and sleeps WWE 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
It's his money, so
Yeah,
that's understandable. But
yeah.
okay, he is also nuts. obviously.
Yes, yes. He's eccentric as hell.
But honestly, doesn't it come with the territory where he's you are dealing with the craziest part of the show business?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so you cannot expect somebody being civil about it.
Yeah, basically he's he'll phone up his writing staff at 2:00 in the morning. Okay, so let's lay out the show.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's just the way it is. Because he sleeps very little. He considers sleeping the enemy. He thinks that you should be able to control your sneezing because it's disgusting. There's a rumor that if you're eating with Vince, he has to finish before you can start.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
You know what? That's already ridiculous power play there from his side. If he wants to be a jerk, let him be a jerk. But yeah.
Well, and that one I think is a little bit far-fetched because that one's kind of that one's not as talked about as some of his others. But yeah, he has some and he's a workout nut. I'll sum it up this way. We're talking about a man who blew out his quad going to a match, going into the ring to change something because something screwed up. So he power walks to the ring, blows a quad.
What's a quad?
His quad muscle in his leg.
Okay.
Like it tore right off.
Yeah.
Okay. Then he would not allow them to help him to the back. So because he overcompensated to be able to walk out so that nobody would see him being weak and having to be carried out, he blew his other one. He didn't go to the hospital till after the show. This is the guy we're talking about.
Yeah.
No
Absolute control freak, but those people are really borderline nuts. and I mean it. It's a diagnose, yeah. But yeah, and not to show weakness or something. And okay, in that line of business, showing weakness is probably something that is not so desired.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. And but since it's such a known fact, the people who decide to work with him know what they are doing.
Knowing what they're getting into, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But then again, see with Vince, it's such a I don't know. He's such an enigma because on one hand he's like that, but on the other hand, he's also the kind of person that, if you're within his inner circle, you're set, right? You're done. You're good for life. You have no issues, right?
Are you sure? I heard there stories about him treating the wrestlers not in a particularly nice way, and the health insurance and how he treats them around that stuff.
That's not Vince. That's the industry. when it comes to health insurance, that's the industry, because they're considered to be independent contractors. For years, they've been wanting to be employees. However, they've never gotten that far. So right now, they're independent contractors with a fixed contract, right? So they're independent. This is where it gets really stupid if you want to get into the weeds. A wrestler under WWE is an independent contractor that cannot be independently contracted by anybody else. Right? So
what is it called? The like a clause. Oh, what's the type of clause there? That you cannot work for the competition.
Yeah.
Competition clause.
Yeah. So but
it has a very specific name. But yeah, that's the thing.
They have they're all independent contractors. So that's why a lot of wrestlers back in the 80s and early 90s would get into a lot of tax problems because
non-compete. That's what it was.
Yeah, non-compete. Yeah,
non-compete. Exactly that one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
So yeah, it's when you get down to the weeds of it's really complicated, and some of that gets blamed on Vince, but it's kind of like that's the industry you're in, pal. Right? You signed up for it.
Question: If they want to do some advertisement on TV or is it something that they can do, or is it as well controlled by the
It has
federation?
to be approved by WWE. It has to be approved by WWE. It's within their contracts.
And the contracts are time limited, or is it like?
They'll have like a contract for 5 years or 3 years, over this amount of time in 3 years. Okay, I'll give you a good example. Vince McMahon allowed Brock to go back to the UFC while still under contract with WWE. But if you'll notice, when Brock Lesnar went into the UFC would slide in the WWE's name from time to time. Right?
Yeah.
So they would get cross promotion. Right? And so yeah, and obviously Vince got a little bit of a kickback from the UFC for allowing their superstar, Brock Lesnar, to return to the UFC. So yeah, it all has to be approved. Like Brock Lesnar, if he's under contract with the WWE, he could not go back to the UFC if Vince said no. It would be breach of contract.
When he was still under a running contract, because if the contract runs out,
if the contract runs out, the only problem is most WWE contracts have a certain amount of time after that contract runs out that they still can't compete. Right? So let's say, just for the sake of argument, it's a year. So let's say Vince, let's say that Brock.
I understand you have a 5-year contract, but after the 5 years, if the contract runs out, you cannot, for example, for another year go and. That's right.
Yeah. So most of them have that, and then sometimes it's waived if it's a lower card, like a lower wrestler lower on the card, somebody that was just Jobberville, as we call it. Then that's not really imposed. But if it's a big name, then you bet your ass that there's going to be about a year there, at least 6 months, that they're not going to be able to compete.
But this is as well something very known around many industries.
Oh yeah, it's
just like I'm working now for a certain PC manufacturer. I cannot just go and start working for a new one. If the company knows where I'm going, what will happen? For example, they will give me my 3 months notice. Or I give them my notice, but it will be something for at least for 3 months. and in higher paid jobs, it's like 6 months or even 1 year, where the old company is going to pay my salary, but I cannot have access to the company, so that everything that was, let's say, under NDA or was top secret or something, so that I don't go out and use it in my next job with another IT company. Plus, of course, in every contract you have the clause that you cannot talk about the internal stuff even after you leave the company.
Yeah.
Which is understandable.
Yeah.
Protect the companies are protecting their assets.
Only if you agree to it beforehand.
Yeah.
Not like some kind of sprung it on you kind of thing.
No,
but
it contract.
Usually, you know what? You have it in the contracts. Like one of the points that, as well. For example, I cannot be if I get asked about the company and the policy in our company, I cannot talk about it. The same as Antichecker has it probably in his contract as well. He mentioned it multiple times that he doesn't talk about his employer, and he cannot speak about his employer. But this is as well. That's why you have dedicated PR departments for communication with media and
Well, we seem to be annoying Kronos, so we can change the topic at any time. But
if Kronos is annoyed, that's basically our goal, right? Or am I right?
Am I wrong?
Just joking.
I can go into the weeds. I can go into the weeds on wrestling all day long because but I mean,
there's only one person I want to annoy, and he's not here. So,
who might you like to annoy?
No, actually, who I'd like to annoy is somebody else. Let's call him. Somebody else from Canada.
Canada.
Yes.
Le
strong French accent.
Correct.
Canadian with a French accent, so Sci-Fi Nation.
That's it. You guessed it. That's it. Sure.
Well, to be fair, he doesn't really have a French accent. He has a Newfie accent.
Yeah, because
he's more East Coast.
So, by the way,
French will claim him.
What the hell is going? Is Quebec not part of Canada? Am I missing something?
Okay, Quebec. We're gonna get on this one again. All right, Quebec is part of Canada. The difference is that Quebec wants to separate. There's a group within Quebec that has been yelling and screaming from the rafters that they're being infringed upon and that they should be allowed to separate from Canada. But here's the caveats. They want to keep the Canadian dollar, they want to keep the Canadian military, and they want the provincial debt wiped away without having to pay it back.
Right.
So
want much, do they?
No, they don't want much.
They want everything, and they want it their way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Because yesterday, Alexander was trying to tell me that Quebec was not part of Canada.
Okay, it is. Whether he does it or not, I'm not going to pick sides here, and that's why we argue a lot.
Right.
Because I'm on one side of the argument, he's on the other. He's on the French separatist side, and I'm not.
And what's the reason? Why do they want to separate from the whole country?
Because us big nasty Anglophones are suppressing them.
Oh.
And they should be free to be the French country that they are. And the last referendum, even France gave them the middle finger. So, yeah, it all goes back to back in the colonial days between Britain and France. So you get your really diehard French separatists that believe that they should never have joined Canada in the first place. and that they were forced to by the big evil mean British, and that they should be allowed to separate, but they need to keep the Canadian dollar, they need to keep the Canadian military, and that Quebec provincial debt needs to go away, because they don't believe that they should have to pay that. So and the other reason that a lot of Canadians hate Quebec or have ire towards Quebec, especially to that group, is a lot of financial aid and financial pandering has gone to Quebec to shut them up. And it's made a lot of other provinces quite pissed because they were getting special treatment for quite a while, and they still do to some degree just to keep them shut up. The biggest one of that would be the party in Quebec is called the Bloc Québécois, and they are a federal party. However, they are the stupidest federal party in Canada, and they were simply put there to shut Quebec up.
What did you call that?
Okay, the Bloc, BLOC, Québécois.
That sounds like that Klingon war. Dr. Black Block.
The Bloc, BLOC. The Bloc Québécois were basically put there to shut Quebec up. They are a federal party that can only their own. Okay. The Bloc Québécois, here's why they're so stupid. They're a federal party, okay, which means they can run in the federal election, which means they can run for the prime ministership, okay?
Mhm.
Now, the Bloc Québécois can only be voted on or voted for by people who live in Quebec.
So they never have a chance.
They don't have a hope in hell. It would be like somebody running for a party for the presidency, but only being allowed to be voted on by people in California. Right? That's the only people who can vote for this party, but they're running to be president.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the Bloc Québécois. So other provinces got a little pissed that they were given certain, here, we'll do this for you, shut up. After the last referendum. And it was put in by Jean Chrétien, who was prime minister at the time. And then also because because with our elections, it's on whoever gets the most votes wins, and we don't have the electoral college to change it. Basically what happens is if you get majority vote in Ontario and Quebec, you've pretty much got the election.
Okay.
Right? So a lot of financial stuff goes towards Quebec, and so a lot of the other provinces kind of look at it like, what the hell are you talking about? You're so damn you're under the government's thumb, my arse. So yeah, it's not a happy topic in Canada, but yeah, that's where he's coming from in very, very briefest terms.
So let's see here. We've talked about wrestling. We've talked about politics.
I'm sorry, I'm killing your stream, Captain Trek.
Canadian politics are fun.
What about bunnies? We need to talk about bunnies.
Cinnabon, like yesterday's stream of yours, yeah, where you were demoted to a audience,
right.
audience. Yeah.
That's all right. I don't have a problem with that because, I mean, if somebody has something to say, I don't want to cut them off and be a dick about it.
You can.
Myself and Alexander, we were talking for hours.
Dead silence too.
Bunnies are good. I agree with. See, Kronos and I agree. Bunnies are good. I want to hear more about bunnies. How did you start? How did you first get a bunny in the first place?
I got an apartment and they didn't allow dogs, so I wanted to get a pet and I hate cats, so I went with the bunny.
I'm surprised that they would allow a bunny but not a dog. sounds a little strange.
At first, they didn't even want to do that because the apartment, I didn't even check when I first bought them, and it was small animal, so I figured a bunny would be fine. And
Right.
they first had a problem with it, but I said, "Look, I'll pay twice the cat deposits if you let me keep it, and then it's not going to destroy the place." So, yeah, so they finally let me do it. So I just ended up having to pay double the deposit for it, but I mean, it was only a $30 deposit anyway, so it only cost me $60. But
Well, that much-
they've just
But there I have a question.
Yes.
What's wrong with cats?
actually nothing. Nothing's
Thank you.
wrong with cats. I just we had one really mean cat when I was a little kid, and it would always bite me and scratch me for absolutely no reason. I remember sitting in the living room at my parents' house watching TV when I was like 8 years old, and the cat just ran from the other room and just started to claw me. I was, what the hell? So I think cats actually hate me. So I do them a favor and just stay away.
Let's see here.
because I have 3 of them and 0 problems. So that's why I'm asking. And all of them are adopted.
Yeah, I think it was just a shitty cat that we had that ruined me. Because it would pee everywhere too, and it would just smell terrible.
That's one thing. You really need to have the litter boxes for them.
Mm-hmm.
And
So you're comparing jerks. I'm sorry, Kronos. You're comparing cats with Anti-Trekker. Jerks, but still cool. Sorry.
Yeah,
so
we had like 3 litter boxes around the house, and for some reason, the couch, my bed, and my parents' bed were the only places like you would want to go pee.
Well, it would technically be spraying, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, and
It's less peeing and more spraying.
Right.
yeah, and that's the problem. If it's a male cat, you need to castrate the cat because
Yeah.
otherwise they are spraying. Yeah, that's the problem, and it smells horribly.
Oh God, yeah. So it takes the smell never goes away. It seems like.
No, it's just horrible, and we realized it very quickly when we left the cat for the first time in the house. But after he was castrated, everything went away.
Yeah, that was a
So-
problem. I'm not sure. I can't remember now whether or not we had them fixed or not. So we probably didn't. I think it was
Yeah.
before the time where they were telling everyone to get all their pets,
Yeah.
either spayed or neutered.
Yeah, so this is the one thing that immediately stopped, and all the other cats those were really like wild cats in the village, and they just appeared here when they had no food, and we were so stupid that we gave them food, so they stayed. Yeah, and when we put out the first litter box with the first cat that came, we were surprised because the cat came to the box, went in, did her business, and that was it. From day one, no problems. No problems there. So it was. I never had we never had a little kitten, like a really little kitten, because everything, all of those that we have came already basically adult cats. Yeah, young adult, really like 6-7 months old,
Yeah.
and they just appeared here, and yeah.
Yeah, these are the first 2 rabbits I've gotten that weren't babies when I bought them, so they were already 1 years old when I bought them.
Yeah.
Usually I got them when they were babies, so
Yeah.
they're so
Funny,
cute.
we had one of those small rabbits,
Mhm.
the tiny ones, and it was a friend of my mother's. She asked her that they just had a bunny for like 2 months, and they were going for holidays. If he could look after the bunny for 2 weeks.
Right.
They brought the bunny, and we said, okay, no problem. Of course, we will take care. and they came home and they said that they don't want the bunny anymore.
Oh,
Yeah, so you
yeah.
know what?
It's also
we
a big problem here.
yeah, you know what? We had 2 dogs at the time, and the bunny ruled the dogs like completely. Really, they became the best of friends, and the dogs were eating the food of the bunny. The bunny came to the bowls of the dogs. Tried out some meat. So I'm not I'm not sure if bunnies are really vegetarians.
I know, right? Mine have eaten meat too, and it's fallen on the floor when they grabbed my pizza and ran away with it.
Yeah.
Fucking pizza all over the house. God, it's terrible.
And of course, the only downside was that I really had to hide all the wires, all the cables, everything.
Yeah.
Because fortunately, it started with speakers, so not with electrical wires.
Yep.
Yeah, it started with speakers. So yeah, then we realized, okay, everything needs to be hidden or placed in such a matters that the bunny doesn't find it.
Yeah, I had to fence off all my wires when I first got them for the first couple months, and then I started slowly taking away the barriers. So they stay away from almost every cord now. They've gotten to one of my lamps again, but other than that, the only cord they really like to chew on now is either my laptop charge cord or my phone charging cord.
Mm-hmm. On my 7th laptop charging cord.
Pretty much. I have to get a new one right now because half the wire is actually exposed right now. So,
Oh wow!
Yeah, because I forgot to unplug the computer the other night, and I woke up and I came downstairs, and one of them had chewed most of the insulation off the wire.
Fortunately, those if it's behind the brick, it's like 18.5 volt or something like this, so it shouldn't kill them.
Yeah, I think Strawberry might have gotten zapped when he got the lamp cord in the living room, but because he's staying away from cords now, so it's just a little while.
You're right, and the thing is, in the US, you are running on 110 volt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here in Europe, it's 230. So.
Yep. So I don't think
it would be a bunny corn immediately.
I know shit. Right? Yeah. What's that barbecue smell? Yeah, man.
But it was funny. It was we had some issues with it because it was sick for a very long time, but then it was back to normal. Mm-hmm. But it took like 6 months.
Yeah.
Really of really intensive care, I would say. Really, like we had to feed it multiple times a day, and it was just skin and bones at one point. The doctor even didn't believe that the bunny is going to live, and then it lived for another 4 or 5 years. Yeah,
I had to do the same thing with one of mine.
We had it for I think 8 years.
They sick for a while, or they just die.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long they actually live, but we had the bunny for 8 years, I think, 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, the average is around 10 to 12 years. The first 2 I had one lived 15 years, one lived 13, and the other pair I had, one died young at like 4 years old. And the other one died finally at 10 years old.
I have to knock on wood. We have very good streak with our dogs. All of them were over 17. Yeah.
Wow.
Which is nice.
Okay, yeah. Captain Trek, I'm gonna step down
You're
for
good.
a bit. I gotta have lunch and.
Yeah, you need to eat and probably need to have a stretch. Get up.
All right. I'll take it easy. Thanks for having me on the stream.
You're
and
welcome.
I'll talk to you later, my friend.
Have a good
Talk
day,
to you
Ryan.
later.
Thank you for
And
the.
remember, we have to watch more. You know what?
And-
Enterprise.
Yeah.
That would be
Until
fun.
Wednesday.
Yeah, you know what? The stream was so much fun. I listened to it from the recording on YouTube. It was so much
Yes.
fun how you were suffering from Volcano Club because it was so hilarious, and it was but it was really probably the worst episode of all of them.
Let's hope so. All right. I'll talk to you all later.
Okay,
Talk to you
cheers,
later.
bye.
Later, Ramlin.
And I'm just wondering, how is it possible that he didn't come around to watch Enterprise until now? It's just crazy. Such a good show.
Well, because he started out at the beginning and saw the first episode and the premiere and the first episode and was like, and I can kind of understand that if you haven't seen beyond that.
Why? I think Broken Bow is an excellent pilot.
Oh, it is. It's one of the better pilots.
He's an excellent pilot.
But it's not
First
Star
episode
Trek.
was awesome.
Why would you say it's not Star Trek?
Well, because to be honest, Star Trek wasn't in the name. I mean, it really, literally was not Star Trek. The name of the show was Enterprise.
It
Yeah,
was
he
Star
said the
Trek.
series
They wanted to be edgy, yeah.
Yeah.
by removing the Star Trek.
Right.
Okay, they in the
But
first
I mean, it was a
episode.
Star Trek series. Don't get me wrong. It was a Star Trek series, but in name, it was not
Yes.
Star Trek.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, there was that edginess to it for that, and it wasn't quite what people really expected. And I think that was,
Captain Trek.
yes.
It's more Star Trek than Discovery.
Yeah.
Oh hell
And
yes, it's more
Discovery
Star
has
Trek.
Star Trek in the name.
Yeah.
So don't go just by the title of the series.
Oh no.
Well, no. I think there's clarification needed here. First of all, Enterprise wasn't. The first season of Enterprise was supposed to have nothing to do with space. They were supposed to show, like that Robinson episode. They were supposed to show them getting ready. That first episode skipped an entire.
Yeah.
The Captain Robinson episode was excellent one.
I love
that.
that.
Was,
That was really good.
that was such a good episode.
Oh yeah, it
When
was.
because they really showed the progress of the space program, and it was really like looking at the U.S. Space program. Oh shit! I have to have a look at my vacuum cleaner. That is okay. It's running here. Okay.
I don't think that if Enterprise if they left season 1 as completely on Earth, I don't think it would have lasted more than a season.
No.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but
I actually disagree with that.
It's true that episodes like the early episodes were let's say on the weaker side because Fight or Flight, I think, is the first one after the pilot.
Right.
Was really basically what I remember from that episode. Hoshi screaming at the dead bodies on that one ship. Yeah.
Yeah.
So zero impact on me. But the later episodes were actually good, and I really enjoyed season 2 with the minefield, and then the follow-up episode with the repair station.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Those were, despite both of them were basically bottle shows. They were really good. I enjoyed those. Carbon Creek, I loved that episode.
Oh yes.
That was great.
Yes, and I think it also affected the character of what is her
T'Pol?
name? T'Pol.
T'Pol.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Love how it retconned First Contact Day.
Yeah,
Well,
and
did
they did it in such an excellent way that
Yep.
yeah.
There was enough of a doubt at the end of the episode if that actually happened in the the storyline of Star Trek.
Only until she pulled out the purse.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
The red purse.
Until
Yeah.
she pulled out the purse. I'm agree with you until that moment.
There's still enough of a doubt in my mind.
Tell us a story because it was tell us a story, and she told them a story.
Okay.
And the question is, of course, how much of from that story is an actual truth, and how much is not. It's basically this the old story: did aliens visit Earth? And we had it in Deep Space Nine with that Little Green Man episode.
Yes.
That was great.
which was exactly Area 51, and we had aliens.
That was
visiting
Roswell.
Earth.
Roswell.
Roswell. Sorry. We had on the original series, we had the crew going back into back to the 60s as well. I'm not saying that those are aliens, but they were at least crew visiting from the future. We had on Voyager, we had them going back to 1996, right, with where the Doctor got his holo emitter, the two-parter. What was it called? So it's a trope. So we had I think everywhere until Discovery. In every show, somebody going to the past, and in Discovery we had the Red Angel, of course, which was such a sad story.
But, when do you know a Vulcan to make up a story like that? Like, I guess it goes against being Vulcan. I'm 99% sure that was true. And then when she pulled out the purse, that just kind of confirmed it.
Yeah, it kind of confirmed that they were there. If everything played out as she described it, it's a different thing. And still, we can go to the Vulcan, to the archives on Vulcan to check it.
It's provable.
Check it out. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Trip for a year.
Yeah.
I can see where she might start pulling stuff like that.
And even in the beginning of the episode, she visited the place. Like, she actually went there for
to Carbon Creek. Yeah. Why were you in Carbon Creek?
Why were you even there if this was a fake story?
All right. Well, hey guys, let me jump off and grab some lunch here.
Okay.
Have a good day, guys.
You too.
Fun, man.
Thank you.
See you later.
And we want a buddy stream later.
Maybe.
Okay.
It depends because it depends when Anti-Tracker does his stream, I guess.
Forget him.
Figure out a time.
Yeah, let the poop do his streams.
Yeah, I'll probably do a stream eventually today. I just
Cool.
have no idea when.
No big deal.
I'll see you guys later.
See you later.
Have a good day.
You
Take
too.
it easy.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I will say I did not like Carbon Creek when it first came out. It took me time to warm up to it because no action really. It was just one of the storylines. I don't think it was exactly the best. Like episode 1 should have been Minefield. Like Carbon Creek felt like more like a episode 5, maybe.
Oh, it was episode 2, wasn't it?
No.
So
Carbon Creek was episode. Well, okay, yes, but that's only if you count the fact that they took a season finale and split it across two seasons. So the first episode was part 2 of Shockwave, I believe. So the actual first story of season 2 was Carbon Creek, and then the Minefield.
Well, I think they wanted to, ratchet it down a little bit from, the high of the finale being resolved in the first episode.
Yeah, I think that was a
from the
mistake.
cliffhanger.
I think they could have given it a little bit more oomph. I needed it. It's not like I didn't need it. It definitely needed it.
It was a good character story.
I'm not saying the story was bad. I'm just saying it was misplaced. Because even Shockwave kind of left you on a whim. Like it wasn't enough. But Yeah, the minefield was a great episode, and the repair station was also a good one. Ooh. But I would have liked to have seen. Okay, I would have liked to have seen the first season not be about space. It would have. But the thing is, episode Enterprise was the first attempt of New Trek. They were trying to get new Trekkers, so that's why they decided to do that. I'm sure, because the only people that would care about Federation before the Federation's Federation is Trekkies. Really. There's not much we can really like. What kind of plots do you have on Earth that don't? Well, you can think of a couple, but I'm sure it was pretty difficult.
Do we lose Captain Trek?
Hello.
I think we
Testing
did.
1, 2, 3. Captain Trek.
Yep, we're still here. Oh, there he is. Welcome back, Captain Trek.
Had an error happen, so I got kicked out of the stream.
Report to the bridge, Captain Trek. Can you get a lock on him?
So
Hey,
what do
there
we
we go.
got going on now?
Ooh, we were talking about episode Enterprise. WWE. I think we pretty much rounding bases here.
I know Jim's still not here. But even now I have a Diet Coke.
God, I wish I could drink soda.
I've had 2 sodas this year.
That's what the worst thing I had to do curving my my diet was switching from soda to water, and that was rough.
Usually I prefer water, to be quite honest. I've gotten to that point, but I need something during the day because when I'm being awake at 4:30 in the morning and trying to. This is one of the first days that I've actually not been busy the entire day.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I'm able to stream right now, because it's like the kids aren't here. Yay!
Yep. What I found is, well, the only soda I do drink is ginger ale. If I have to have a soda, like I'm dying, I can't take any more water anymore. I'll drink a ginger ale, and that's ginger ale is actually kind of good for you if it's real ginger ale.
Real ginger ale,
yeah, it has to be real. But another thing I found is like I'll have a coffee, but like if you need a good a quick pick me up, eat a lemon. You'd be surprised how much a lemon not only opens up the veins but gets it going, gives you a nice push. Good detoxifier.
What about limes?
From what I've read so far, limes are they're good. I just don't think they're as potent. Lemon is like the Clorox bleach of lime. It's like you can't get better than a lemon if you compare the two.
Right.
But lime is good. I'm not saying it's bad. It's like a cousin. But if you want to go right to the source, just do a lemon. And because it's good for the teeth, it's good for the skin, it's good for the veins, good for the everything. Get you going.
So you mean basically everything pop is not?
Soda is an oxymoron. It's not even a drink. There's nothing good in soda.
No.
It is literally cornstarch and freaking water. You ever cook a soda on a stove? You will not like what you find. I mean, it takes rust off batteries, for God's sakes.
Yeah, it does. I've seen that actually.
It's horrible, but because we let people advertise a certain way and we believe them, it become a cult classic, and everybody's drinking Coke. Then it all comes down to the 50 years later. If I knew what I know then, what I know now, I wouldn't have drunk all that damn soda.
And what do you know then that you wish you knew now? What's that?
Oh, 1 second. Sorry.
What do you know now?
1
that you
moment,
wish-
please.
Sure. I don't know. Right now, I'd suck at being an interviewer. I'd ask the question backwards.
I do that all the time. You know what I do? I'll get going so fast in my brain that I skip words that I want to say. So I have to slow down. I have to slow down my brain and try to be deliberate about how I speak.
Of course.
I noticed Schoenemer in the text chat. He says that he likes the Voyager episode 1159. That's the one where about Janeway's ancestor
Yes, the one that's
in Indiana.
yes.
I didn't really like that one. It was dull to me. I don't know. It didn't connect with Janeway too well, I thought.
No. Let's see here. Okay, Piano Dean, you're in the house. Let's see if you want to come up and chat.
Schoenemer says that it was not an action episode, but he enjoyed the world building, and it gave more history for Janeway. Plus, her character was a lot like a good friend of his. So I can see where a personal connection would help there.
Oh, definitely. So what yeah, I'm gonna have to get rambling through season 1 of Enterprise.
That shouldn't be too tough. You already have passed the worst of it.
Yes.
And I actually think that would be fun. I've not watched Enterprise for probably 10 years.
Past the worst except the series finale.
Well, yeah. But there's a lot of good stuff in between.
Oh, yes. And don't get me wrong, I don't dislike the episode so much as how do I say this? It's a bad series finale.
It is a bad series finale. I don't know which is worse, that or Turnabout Intruder. Although they didn't know probably that was going to be the end of the original series.
That was a horrible season finale. But
yeah.
I think you're right. I doubt very seriously they had any idea that it would be the end of the series. Just the end of the season.
And they probably didn't consider it, even if they did think it was going to be the end of the show. They didn't consider, well, we should end on something better. They were just putting out episodes the best they could back then with what they had.
Sorry, I'm back. What did I miss?
Just talking about the worst series and the worst series and season finales. We were talking
Enterprise.
Enterprise definitely had that, but the original series also had a really bad, final episode, even though it was not intended as a series finale.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're talking about series or season finale that you're talking about, right? That
Well,
starts TOS. Was it a series or season finale? There's a last
Well, we were
episode.
talking about series finales, and Turnabout Intruder was the final episode of the original series.
Oh.
And my argument is that's a worse episode than, the season or series finale of Enterprise. Yeah, the series finale of Enterprise was not a good one by any stretch of the imagination. It might have been a better episode, maybe episode 20 or something of Enterprise's fourth season.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's as bad as Turnabout Intruder.
I didn't even mind the connection between the Riker. It was just that it was the series finale, and having Riker there.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, I agree.
Yep. Yeah, it could have even been more better if it was a season finale, or I think it really would have been done better for a season mid finale.
yeah, a mid-season show would have been perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But
absolutely, or even a first episode, it could have fit, but where it was, absolute insult, because it completely questions what really happened. Like, there's just no absolutism at all. It's holodeck.
And you absolutely have to take out Trip's death.
Oh, I hate it.
Well, they admitted that Trip's death was a FU to the cancellation. They admitted that on a panel.
Yeah, but that season they tried to kill him off. How many times?
Right, he was like a red shirt. Yeah, it's funny because he died in almost died in Similarity or whatever it's called. What else?
There were different times. Almost died.
Shuttle Pod. Yeah, Shuttle Pod 1 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And almost.
Yeah, he was the red shirt. He was the red shirt of the Enterprise series.
You know what is funny? Now that you mention it, he does remind me of like Chief O'Brien, where all the bad stuff happens to him.
Or Rory on Doctor Who, if you're familiar with Doctor Who.
Oh yeah. Yeah, who now? Doctor Who now is actually Doctor Who. They screwed up Doctor Who now. God. Everyone's saying
I
this
actually
ain't
liked
canon.
series. I actually liked series 12 of Doctor Who. I did not care for series
finale.
11.
The finale is what everybody's pissed off about.
I just think it enriches the show. Actually, it just adds to the lore. It fits with some of the prior canon from the Tom Baker years.
Like one thing.
But Doctor Who's never been real good about keeping, its canon straight.
They've done a pretty good job. I mean, it still holds together, I believe.
I don't know.
Mean,
You have two alternate histories for the Daleks, the origins of the Daleks.
Unfortunately, I haven't watched the old Who, so I need context with that. But it is a show about rewriting time.
Yeah.
So you have a little bit of bandwidth there to play with. But what they did on the season finale of 12, I mean, that was just some retconning, what the hell crap. Like, it doesn't even fit whatsoever. Makes absolutely no sense.
And then you have this coming from the Master, so it could be all a lie.
Mm-hmm. Who's supposed to be dead.
Or maybe what was shown, it was coming from the Matrix on Gallifrey. So, maybe that was changed. Maybe that's a lie. Maybe we don't have the real truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it just comes down to. Are you still talking? Oh wait,
No, go ahead.
Sorry, I had that muted. My bad. Yeah, it just comes down to the writing staff. Karen, am I got the?
You're talking. You're on.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I mean, they just don't care anymore. Just like CBS is screwing with Star Trek. If you're gonna make something and try to call it canon, because technically it isn't canon. Once the original creators are gone, that breaks canon. End of story. By definition, nobody try breaking that logic. So even if you're gonna try to say this is canon, do your research, double check things, spell check your freaking scripts. Don't break obvious things that's happened, you know. And if you do break it in a way that it makes sense and makes it actually better, not just making up crap and then making stupid mistakes like continuity within your own script that just screams lazy, no check work done crap. I mean, like Stargate was great. So I keep saying, I keep coming back to Stargate, how the producers and the writers really did a great job sticking with things on Stargate. You don't see any of these things that Trek and Two and all these other ones that are breaking their own story. They kept to their story, Stargate. They weren't.
Yeah, I
retconning
agree.
crap.
Stargate was great with that. All three shows, actually, they really built
Yes.
a really great world there,
Yes.
a great universe, and they kept true to the origin stories
They
and
did.
everything.
Absolutely.
And until this recent prequel thing that they did, like last year or whatever it was, that just did not fit at all.
Oh, I heard about something. There was another Stargate, wasn't there? I haven't watched it though. I
Yeah, it
kept
was an
hearing about
online
it from the
thing.
start. Oh, okay. Was it original creators involved though?
I don't remember.
That's what canon means. It's the difference between the original creators and what people make after. So if no original creators equals no canon unless we call it canon. Then it's all subjective. That's why I'm really pissed off about these channels saying they're messing up canon. I'm like, it's not canon. Did you look up the definition of what canon says? Just because you own a license to sell something doesn't mean you have the right to call it canon. You just own the license. That's it. End of story.
No.
That means you don't get sued for making it. But you can't use an English word and give it a different definition. Okay? Now you can call it your version of Star Trek. That's fine. It's your version of Star Trek. That's fine. You bought the license. No one's going to sue you for making it. But canon means you're not the original creator. No original creators are involved. This is completely original version 2. It is not canon unless we say it is. Not you.
Well, unfortunately, under the law, that doesn't work that way.
I don't care about the law. The law is just a license. License and canon are two different things. The license doesn't say anything about canon. It just says your rights for copyrights. It doesn't say anything about canon. The word canon means something different. Look it up.
What does it say? I'll look
it up right now. Yep.
Canon is in the eye of the beholder. There's some, flexibility there depending on who you ask. I don't think there's a strict definition.
Well, I mean,
listen, I want to agree with you, but we have to agree that there is a base definition for every English word. That's the reason why we're using a language. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and then there's interpretation, and then if there's a word that you can use that is I think what you're thinking of is a different word. I don't think you're thinking of canon. So anyway, the definition is, one second, boom, 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 boom. In literature, okay, and shows is literature. A script is literature. A term, the canon, is used to distinguish between the original work of the writer who created certain characters and or settings, and the later works of other writers who took up the same characters and or settings. Okay, so the difference between canon is the original creators and the people who wrote after of the same thing. and you can Google that. You can look it up. Definition of canon. Because the canon is supposed to. The canon is not supposed to protect the license owner. It is to protect the original creator. He's the one who originally has the right to say it's his work. You know what I mean? Okay, so even Gene Roddenberry, technically, they were making Star Trek books and Star Trek animated series, and there was more than just the TV show. Okay, and he's the original creator. He needs to control his original work.
Well, if you go by that, then Star Trek, the original series, season 1, was quite different from Gene Roddenberry's idea for Star Trek, because you had all these different people coming in, putting their ideas in, and it was not Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek at that point.
But he was still involved in it, and his name was still on it.
You're absolutely right, but we need to take into a point that A, he couldn't do the entire thing himself. B, he was the president.
Wanted to.
He was the high man. If you weren't on the production team, the head production team, it was because he said so. So if you were on the original production team, it was because he wanted you there, and you get extended rights to that canon. That's how it works.
I don't think that's quite true, because the network had a lot of pull. They pulled a lot of strings in how Star Trek evolved during the original series.
I think we're nitpicking on that bit. I mean, yes, you have to bow down to certain things. That's because we're not a Type 1 civilization one yet. Okay, there are money greedy people with rules and laws and all this crap, and TV and what you can show and what you can't show. So yeah, he had to play the field, but he played the field, and he still is the man. Even Walt Disney had to bow down to certain things when he was getting going, but it's still Walt Disney. It's still his thing.
And you could say the same thing like with Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. The Paramount said, Gene Roddenberry, you messed up with Star Trek the Motion Picture. We are taking away a lot of the control away from you for this next film.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to kick you upstairs, and you're just going to have a glorified title, basically. And Gene Roddenberry, he hated Star Trek II. He did not like Star Trek III either.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, it's that's how you dealing with other people. Unfortunately, you have to get your idea out.
What about Star Trek 4?
I liked all the Star Trek movies. I don't even know why people said Star Trek 1 was a failure. It was great. I loved it. It's subjective to say it was a failure.
Well, go ahead, Jeff.
Well, in some ways, it was a failure because of all the phrases that were used for that film, the motionless picture and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it made a lot of money. The fans went and saw it, and they went back and back and back and watched it again.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it was not, victory for Paramount. They it made money, and they said, well, let's see if we can do it better with another film, and they did that. And the cast, they were very hesitant actually to come back for another film because how badly the filming went for Star Trek the Motion Picture. But once they did come back and they started filming, they had the director, I don't remember who the director is now for Star Trek 2, but it went very smoothly. They had a really good time filming it, and all the cast was very happy with how that went. And even Leonard Nimoy, he regretted because he wanted the Spock character to die in Star Trek 2 because he didn't want anything to do with the franchise anymore. And after the success of it, he was he felt bad for putting that in there, that stipulation that Spock had to die, because he wanted to come back and do another film. So when they decided to do Star Trek 3, they were looking for ideas, and Leonard Nimoy said, well, I'll come back attached to the film, but you got to make me director. And the higher ups, they said, that's a great idea. Let's do that. That's a great way to get attention for the film. And
we're going to add Dean in here now. Hello, Dean.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Can hear you. 10-4.
Can you hear this piano?
But
Yes.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
yes, we do.
Yes.
All right. How do I not? It's still. I'm getting some kind of echo.
We don't hear the echo.
we're not
At least
hearing
I
it.
don't.
Okay.
Echo from your end or ours?
I think it's it must be from mine.
Are you hearing yourself?
Yeah, I can hear myself.
Okay.
Okay, I just muted my mic, so if it didn't go away, it's not me.
Yes. No, I just heard you ask, "Am I hearing myself?"
Oh, close the stream, not the StreamYard. Close the stream. Mute it or pause
Mute
it.
the stream, yeah.
Yeah,
Or- yeah.
you're listening to your radio while on the phone with the radio. I think.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yes. That's exactly what it is.
Try
So
again after
you
you
have a tab
mute
that says
YouTube.
Saturday 404, and then you should have a tab that says StreamYard. Mute the Saturday one.
Yeah, mute the YouTube stream. Just leave the
Yeah.
StreamYard one going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
All right. I guess that fixed it.
Good.
Okay. Now some people were saying the other day that my my voice wasn't quite loud enough in the mix. Yeah. See, now I still hear that echo. I guess it's the noise from my headphones coming out and back into my microphone.
Right. For you.
Shouldn't be doing that.
Oh wait. Is the stream coming into your headset or your speakers?
It is coming into my. It should be coming into both, I think. But I've got my speakers turned all the way down.
Okay. And weird. Unless you have your.
What are you using to mix your audio?
Yeah, I just, man. Yeah, we successfully did this with Andy Trekker the other day, and yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, it's not coming through. I can only hear you once, so that
Yeah.
might just be internal.
Okay.
It's not like you're echoing. Like, let me check the stream 1 second. No, I'm not hearing anything. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so I sound great to you guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Good
you
mix,
do.
too. Yeah. Good
Yep.
mix.
Yeah, see, now I just heard myself ask you that question.
Has to be this. You sure you don't have the YouTube stream open? What browser are you using?
Chrome.
Okay, and how many tabs in Chrome do you have open, or how many instances of Chrome do you have open?
Oh, I see the stream. I see the StreamYard, and I see
Saturday 404.
yes.
Okay, close that.
Okay.
Hit the X on that tab, not the StreamYard.
I bet you that fixed it.
Testing 1 2. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, yeah, that did it.
Perfect.
Okay, and now if I want to follow along with chat, see, I've got my laptop in front of the piano here, so
Mm-hmm.
so that's my setup. So
Yep.
that should be, I don't do this enough to just know automatically what to do. So
Just make sure the live button is red on the laptop that you're looking at, so that you're seeing the recent chats. And then you might want to change. Also, a good tip is at the top of the chat window, change it from top chat to live chat, because sometimes some chats don't get caught.
all right. Okay.
It should be like a down drop arrow at the top of the window of the chat window.
No, I'm not hearing the echo that I was hearing before. So
no, as long as you have the laptop like muted, you're fine.
Okay. Yeah. That's I got to remember these steps, man, because we're gonna be doing this again. But you can hear the piano fine.
Oh yeah, well, that's beautiful.
Can hear the piano over you, obviously. So you might want to increase your volume.
Increase, okay. Or if I get
wait, do both first before we start screwing with dials. Like, talk. I thought you had a good mix going.
Yeah. So that's not distorting or anything.
No, but talk while you're playing is what I was asking.
Oh, okay, let's see. Because he's bad, Leroy Brown.
Yeah, that's fine, man.
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so that
sounds good.
Yep, and those are the settings I'm going to keep then. So when we do this the other days,
sweet. Just question: is your keyboard? Is the sound from your keyboard going into your mic, or do you have it like an aux channel in kind of thing to your computer?
It's not going into my mic. Yeah, it's going into my my audio interface.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
my
Cool.
Good. That's the way you should do it.
Good.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So that's all right. Yeah. I just wanted to see because people were saying the other day that my mic they wanted it to a little bit louder, so I thought I turned it up in there, and so if this sounds good.
It sounds good. You might be able to tweak it just a little bit, like very little, but you're fine. Like it all depends on what song you're playing. If your voice is supposed to be like prominent, but it's a good mix.
Yeah,
very good mix.
Okay, good deal. I just wanted to check that out. So
did you listen to any of the Chicago songs since you were on last?
No, I haven't. Well, let's see. Hang on.
Oh, I love that song.
And so my voice is not in singing shape at
the
moment, but it will be Monday, hopefully. So, well, let's.
It doesn't need to be in singing shape for you to just play a song.
No, that's true. I can just play a song. Absolutely. All right. Good deal, man. That's all I wanted to check. So I'm gonna take off and grab some lunch myself. So.
Sounds good.
All right, man. Thank you, guys. Hopefully I'll see you on Monday.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Thanks.
Good stuff.
Talk to you later.
Awesome. Later. He's cool. I definitely want to get him to make me a song.
Oh, that would definitely be good. Let's see what.
I gotta think of something. I gotta think something original.
So what are you up to? What is everybody up to in chat right now?
Let's see here. Piano Dean is in the chat. Chronos. Chicago. Excuse me.
Mr. Lundell's says that the biggest complaint in the motion picture was from the cast was the uniforms, especially from the men. I take it.
Yeah.
Again, I enjoyed all the Star Trek movies. I didn't really have an issue with it. I mean, I'm flexible enough to understand. You got to do certain things. But
the only one I didn't care for was Into Darkness.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I meant to rewrite that. Any of the new Star Trek movies, I had to put that in a separate bucket. The newer Trek movies I thought were okay. I still didn't hate them. I just don't put them into canon.
And
the reboots.
I'm not trying to rag on the motion picture. I love the director's edition cut that they did for DVD about 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. That was an awesome cut with the new effects that they put in. Mm-hmm. In fact, I watched it just recently again. It's just an awesome film. The way they cut that. So don't take me wrong. I do like that film.
Well, let me put it to you this way: if that were put out today, it would be a bomb.
Probably, yeah,
An
I
absolute
agree.
bomb. Because even then, it was a slow moving movie.
Well, especially with the cut that they put out in the theaters.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. The theater cut.
If it would have been received a little bit better, I think, if they had the cut that they did for the DVD 15 years ago. It was faster paced. It had better effects.
Hey, Orville Nation. You're right. It was much. Let's see here.
But, everything's better when you give it a second go. I agree with that.
Well, I've watched some of Picard a second time and third, and it doesn't get better.
Right?
At least not to me.
Right? I'm telling you, man, Picard is crazy. And the things that's funny is the stretches of belief you have to make for certain things. I don't even care anymore because the things they broke are just it hurts my brain. Like I don't know. Like, Picard going to the synth and having the synth body, and why is it still Picard? Why did they change the actor? Like, I don't even care about that because the rest of the show was so sloppy. Sorry. Wasted money. The Borg. What Borg? There was no Borg. There was just freaking sleeping Borg that got shoved into space. No Borg. How much money did they waste on the Borg? I'd hate to see how much money they spent on that.
The whole Borg subplot was wasted.
Absolutely 100%. Okay, sorry. Correction. I take that back. 99.9%, because the best part of the Borg was when 7 of 9 got plugged in and said, "We are Borg." That was it. That was the best part of the Borg. And the half a second of it coming outside the conduit. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
We are Borg. That was it. Sorry, it takes a second to switch that back. No assimilations, no badges going gray, no, unbelievable.
Well, that's because I don't believe that all the money was spent on Picard that they said was spent on the show. I think that's bullshit.
No,
I do think they spent the money. They filmed in California, and that's going to be a lot more expensive than where they're filming Discovery. So they're pouring extra money into that. They're paying Patrick Stewart out the nose. They brought back Brent Spiner. I'm sure they paid him pretty well, and also Jonathan Frakes. I bet he commanded some good money, and then Jerry Ryan, of course.
Of course. But I don't think everything went directly to paying for Picard. I don't.
I'm telling you, the Borg had to have been 6 figures. All that CGI had to be, because it was so much of it. And they couldn't fake it. It's not like the episode 10 where you could easily see they just copy and pasted the same damn ship a million times. So much so that you could almost see how they did it. The Borg had to be original, like when you saw all those repair bots going all across the ship and everything. Like, there was more detail in that. There was more detail in the ship itself, the Borg ship itself. It had to have been millions of dollars they spent on that to do absolutely nothing with the Borg. And what cracks me up is the garage door. The garage door was absolute garbage. Garbage.
I don't know. I can see the Romulans doing something like that, putting in, in case the prior drones somehow, started to turn on them, they could easily get rid of them.
Well,
I would
see,
agree
that's
with
what
you if
yeah.
that's what happened, but that's not what they happened. They hacked the Borg ship's garage door because it had one. They didn't create it. They didn't use explosions to bust a hole and have everybody suck it into space. Because we've seen Borg ships inside, right? You've seen that open area where all the square goes around. So if there was a breach in the hull, the entire middle section would get sucked out. Okay, I get that. Okay, but that they used the ship's pre-existing garage door. And they didn't ever say anything about we installed it or made it. And if we did make it, how do you do something like that? You know what I mean? Like, it's a Borg ship. It's not like you're just knocking down a wall. I mean, the wall is the Borg. There's no room for, we're just gonna put a wall here and make it a garage door. You know what I mean?
How long did they have that cube? Years,
like 14 years or something. But
I'm sure they could have engineered something.
If you look at the shot, and I doubt I'm wrong, but if you look at the shot, it's the entire wall of the ship. It's not like just one little hatch that they created. It's the entire. It's like the cube opens up on itself.
Yes. It's on that
not
one
something
edge.
you just make. Like, besides the point. Let's just put aside for the second that a Borg can be brought back from the dead 36 hours after they die. They can survive in space. They can survive in the freezing cold of Antarctica and come back to life. Let's just forget the fact that they could have been refurbished and survived. You know what I mean? Or how many times on Voyager or Trek when there's a hull breach and what's the first thing to happen? Force fields.
Emergency force field. Yeah.
Force fields. What's the first thing we saw in the Borg cube when we first saw the Borg cube? Force fields. The damn thing was surrounded by force fields. The outside, no sense, no logic, just wow, shock value. That's all that was, shock value. And you put a sign that says no assimilations for so many years, and the whole, hey, if your badge turns gray, you better run. You better watch out. Nothing. Full lead up with no ending whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree. They had, and we got rambling coming back up.
Sweet. Rambling.
All right, I couldn't resist it.
Yes,
drag me from my lunch.
Yeah.
Hi, Ramblin'.
Hello.
Ramblin', I'm going to qualify all this. I liked Picard as a series. There are some things that I had trouble with, and I think you did too.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'll give you that.
I liked Picard. I gave each episode, most of them, between a 6 and an 8.5.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I am. I mean, the highest I gave was an 8, which was the final.
Okay, I think I gave episode 5 an 8.5.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the more, comedic aspects of that episode.
Yeah, I could go there with you. I could be there. Now let's address some of the Borg. See, for me, I think the problem with the Borg and Picard is headcanon.
It had canon, you're saying?
No, head canon. Because here's what's happened, and this is my opinion, is everybody saw the Borg and went, yes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the enemy, the big bad ended up being somebody else. Well, somebody had already... It happens in many things, right? You want a certain thing to happen. You want a certain storyline. You want something, and then you don't get it. That's not the direction they take. And therefore that ruins it for you just a little bit. And that's fine. But I think that's what happened when it came to the Borg. in a lot of ways, because for me, I didn't really have all that issue with the Borg, because the Borg, like I said in many of my reviews, to me, if you're looking at this like a dinner, the Borg were potatoes, right? They're the side dish. They're not the main. They're not your main course. They're not the steak. They never were the steak. They never were meant to be the steak. So for me, it's not that big of a deal that you have the Borg as a side plot and that they're not the big bad at the end of the day, because I never expected them to be the big bad at the end of the day. Now, I will grant you, getting rid of the Borg drones was pretty lame, but I can understand why they did it. They had a lot to do, little time to do it in, and sacrifices had to be made. I get it. I don't like it, but I get it. And as for them opening the space doors, that's nothing new. How many times have they blown out a cargo bay in any starship in Star Trek?
Okay.
That's not what they did, though.
Yes,
Here's the problem.
No.
They did not state in
Yes,
the
they did.
episode.
Yes,
Where?
they did.
Where?
In that episode, when they're talking about where the drones are, they state that they've been moved. All the drones have been moved to the cargo bay.
They did say that, Ramblin'. I do remember that.
I went back and I checked. They did. They did state that all the drones were put in a cargo bay. So you tell me why it's so unbelievable that they blew out a cargo bay. Yeah,
you know what?
It's a bigger door. It's a bigger door, but come on. They've done it how many times in Star Trek?
Okay, you expect me to believe? How do you move Borg? Like, where do you move them to? Because how is the cargo bay look exactly like the interior of the Borg ship?
Because the Borg ships are designed that way. If you think about it.
Whoa, no.
Like, what do you mean? It looks like a Borg ship, so why does it look like a Borg ship in the inside of a Borg ship?
No, I'm saying, why does the cargo
I don't understand
bay
that
look like
logic.
the center? Okay,
I'm sorry.
I love you, Bros, but listen, how does the cargo bay look like the center of the ship?
Because for all we know, that's where it's located. How big? Why?
Did we see 10 or 20? Like, we saw stories of Borg. Stories, like buildings high.
Yeah.
That was not a cargo bay. I've never seen a cargo bay that freaking big.
Have you seen the Borg cargo bay?
No, I don't think Borgs have cargo bays.
Well, honestly,
who are you to say that they don't?
Who are you to say they do?
Because they did in the show.
Now, wait a minute.
Said it.
They said it.
Now,
wait a minute.
And I gotta.
Wait a
You're
minute.
right.
Like, I'm sorry, but I mean, you can dislike it. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can't tell me. You cannot tell me that it is a totally unheard of that a Borg would have a cargo bay. That's not.
Well,
like they wrote it in.
The only cargo bay I could possibly have is the circle opening that they were Voyager.
That's not the cargo bay.
That's
the sphere holder. That's not a cargo bay.
Yeah, but that's the only place. Look at the ship. The ship is plumbing work. Where's the cargo bay? Every side has plumbing work up and down it.
And they have big, massive corridors inside of every cube we've ever seen.
Yes.
With big open spaces. No, with big open spaces. Go back to First Contact. Go back to First Contact.
You're right.
Watch the cube. I'm sorry, but you're wrong.
Okay, I'll look, and I will rewatch that episode because I want to hear that. I want to hear that line about the cargo bay.
You have to you really have to listen when whatever that rank guy is talking to the big bad female. Yeah, that's when it's said.
That's when it was. And I know what you're talking about. And like I said, that was another example when I blinked and I missed something because the 10 episode curse.
Yeah,
and I remember what you're talking about. I think I know exactly because I think they were talking about explosives, but I was wrong. That's what they must have been talking about.
Yeah, it was
when I first saw it, I thought they blew the hatch, but they didn't. Yeah, it was a garage door. But I will rewatch it.
And I mean, I'm sorry, but we've blown a cargo bay how many times in Star Trek?
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
But
and you know what? For people to sit there and go, "Oh, it is unbelievable." Well, if you look at and I hate to reference JJ Trek, but I will. They blew a cargo bay to send a person to another ship, because that works. I mean, blowing a cargo bay is nothing new.
No.
Like to me, it just seems. It's
No,
like,
it isn't.
okay,
But
right?
how do you fit the entire Borg ship of 10,000, 100,000 drones into something that by definition is smaller than the sum of its parts? Cargo bay has to be smaller than the ship itself, and the ship itself has 100,000 Borg on it.
because
all
you
the
can
drones-
stack them.
And how do you move them?
Because I'm going to put it this way: because you can stack them like cordwood.
But they're already stacked. Like,
Exactly
how
my
can you
point.
make a Lego building smaller when
You just
they're
move it.
already Lego
You're not
stacked?
making it smaller. You're moving them. You're stacking them like cordwood.
That's
And you
what
can
I'm
have
saying, the Borg ship is-
multi cargo bays. I mean, you got to remember how big that Borg ship is, right? So yes, they open a portion from top to bottom. Okay, they open that.
Okay,
Even that's
if
nothing major. That can be done today.
I hear you.
Okay.
And you know
I
what?
mean,
I'll even
like,
go as far as
seriously?
agree with you.
Like
I'll even-
seriously, it's not that big of a stretch. The whole ship is not
You're
going to
right.
come flying apart because they open a door.
Okay, you're right. But here's this. Even with that, let's say you're 100% right. I'm not even going to contest you, but I am going to rewatch it and get back to you on that rambling. Even if you're 100% right, she was the Borg queen when it happened. She could have closed that door. She could have look at Voyager when the Klingon ship self-destructed. They beamed the entire Klingon onto Voyager within seconds. She had full control of that cube. She could have closed the door. She could have emergency force fields. She could have stopped the signal. I mean, what's the security?
Oh, no.
There's
I get it. I get your point there. And
Yeah.
like I said, I may not have liked it, but I won't go as far as to say it's far-fetched. And Thomas Potts points out a good point. I did not like the Klingon ship having a damn holodeck. But the reason I didn't like that is because of its placement within chronological order. That's why I didn't like the holodeck on the Klingon ship, was because of where it's placed. The joy that Picard has is it happens after everything.
Yeah.
Okay?
Years
So
after.
anything that they introduce now, we can't say, well, okay, they're telling us that a Borg cube has this now. Well, how come then we didn't see that when Voyager had? Because it happened afterwards. And that's the beauty of Picard. It's after everything. There's nothing that this leads into except for, unfortunately, another show I won't mention. But for all intents and purposes, right? For all intents and purposes, Picard can pretty much write what they want. Because where they are, if a ship has something that we haven't seen before, that's okay because it doesn't have to fit into TNG. It doesn't have to fit into Voyager. It doesn't have to fit into DS9. Because it's post DS9. It's
You're right.
post Voyager. It's post TNG.
Mhm.
Where I had an issue with the holodeck is it's pre-TOS.
Mm-hmm.
Even well, yeah. You're talking about the pregnant episode in Enterprise.
Yes.
Okay. True. But for the record, it wasn't actually said it was a real hologram. It said it can only do simple landscapes and environmentals.
Still, the whole premise of Klingons going, yeah, we won't blow something out of the sky
Yeah.
if
yeah,
you promise us a holiday. That just no.
Mhm, mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
for me, no. Pre-TOS, that's a no for me.
Yeah.
But that's just me. But
That was a bit much.
But because we're talking post, it didn't bother me all that much.
You know, and what happened to the future technology that Voyager brought back with them? I was really hoping to see some of that armor plating technology. At minimum, I wanted
Well,
to see that.
okay,
It's been 20
well,
years later. It should have been
yeah, but
integrated into ships.
we're only what, season 1 into a show?
So what?
Okay, did you see every ship, every technological thing in season 1 of TNG?
Just because CBS was lazy not to do it doesn't mean I shouldn't expect it. I mean,
No, but this is my question.
look how much
Did
work they
we
put into
see-
Westworld 1. If they would have put as much work into Westworld 1, I mean Picard 1 that they did Westworld 1, this stream would be completely different.
I don't understand by as much work. I've never seen the show, so I can't
Westworld
comment.
season 1, they put a lot of it was like years for production. They put a lot of effort and time and effort into it. It was a great season.
Okay, so you have a high standard. So okay, fine. I can grant you that because I've never even seen the show, so I can't. I can't.
Okay, now I was just trying to make. All I was trying to say is they would have put more work into it. Picard season 1 didn't even seem like they gave it enough.
Basically, you're calling, but see, I don't like that because we don't know what happened behind the scenes. We don't know how many guys stayed up, on burning the midnight oil. We don't know how many hours were put in. Do you? Do you have the stats in front of you?
No,
So,
but the proof is in the
don't
pudding.
I don't like it that we can sit there and go, well, they're freaking lazy. I mean, well, maybe it's just not to your taste. I think that some of the shots that they did with the Borg cube were freaking amazing. Yes, we got little of them, but I think they were great. Nonetheless,
Considering, I will say this, considering how long they had the Borg cube, how many years, there was zero explanation of change that was made to the cube. And there had to have been changes made.
oh, absolutely.
If they had moved all the drones, because they said all the drones are in the cargo bay.
Yeah. But here's my point. There's only so much you can do on screen.
Absolutely.
There's only so much you can cover. And yeah, we would have liked this and liked that and liked this and liked that. But things are going to get cut. I mean, how much longer do you want the episodes? An hour and a half? Do you
Well,
really want hour?
Honestly, I'd prefer at least 13 episodes. Personally,
well, yeah,
me.
yeah.
I mean, actually, honestly, I prefer
insult for
26. But
that
I
would be
prefer
nice.
26, but I do think 13 would be
Yeah,
more appropriate.
That would be nice. Just that's not going to happen in the world that we live in.
It
It will
could.
if the right people were involved.
I don't think 13 is too much to expect.
I don't think
26,
18
yes.
wasn't too
For
much
an
of a
initial
15.
season nowadays, no. You're going to go 10. I mean, The Mandalorian didn't even go 10. Picard had
went
two
8.
more. Picard had 2 more episodes than The Mandalorian.
Mandalorian isn't a genre.
It's Star Wars.
Yeah, but it's separate. It's a spin-off.
No, it's Star Wars. It doesn't matter. Star Wars is Star Wars. Star Trek Picard is a spin-off. If you want to make that argument, Picard is a spin-off.
Well, yeah.
Definitely.
I'm
it is.
sorry, you can't say that because it's Star Wars.
You're
And
right.
whether we like it or not, Star Wars is just as big of a franchise, sometimes bigger in the movie world. So I'm sorry, but that's an irrelevant argument.
I'll agree with
mean,
you.
all due
Mandalorian
respect. All due
Should've
respect,
gotten more
LDG.
than 10. No, you're right. I'll give it to it. I'm sorry. I have a little thing for Star Wars, but yeah, it should have gotten more than 10. Mandalorian definitely should have gotten more than 10. Maybe not 20 or 15, but at least more than 10, 13, I would say. But Trek 13, I'd
No,
say at
we
least
got 8.
15. I mean, like I said, once again, 10 episodes is what you give a brand new, not defined show.
By your definition, but
No,
that's not how it
that's
works.
what they're giving it. Look at
Yeah.
Netflix. All the brand new shows are getting 10 episodes.
Yeah, and that's just within the confines of the way the industry is, and we can argue back and forth whether that's good or bad, but that's just within you're working within the realities of the situation.
I want
Right?
to find one person who actually agrees that Picard should have been 10 episodes.
Oh, Picard
Anyone?
should have been more,
Anyone?
but there's nothing I can do about it. That's
Well,
like,
there's
there
nothing-
is something
that's
you
like-
can do about it.
That's
It's called
that's like no,
Right
it's like
CBS.
arguing. It's like arguing. You know what? It's minus 40 outside, and I want it to be minus 50. I want it to be sunny, and I want to go fishing, but it's minus 50. Please change that.
Well, okay. This is what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying.
I enjoy your analogies, by the way.
I do too. I'm going to say I want it to be warmer. I cannot control it, but I'm going to bitch about it not
Oh
being
yeah,
warmer.
absolutely. We'll bitch about it being too hot, too cold, and that's just the way it is. But at the end of the day, within the confines of the reality of the industry at this time, this is what we have to contend with, whether we like it or
Unfortunately,
not.
You don't give fans enough credit. If everybody actually got off their butt and started doing something, CBS would have no choice but to listen.
Oh, I agree.
But so it's not
But
like you're
they're
asking God to change the weather so it's warmer or colder. CBS is an actual entity that if everybody actually got off their butts and did something, we could make it 10 degrees less. But everybody has to do it.
Yeah,
And
you're never going to get that.
You're
that's
never going
not
to get
gonna
that,
happen
unfortunately. You're
unless
right.
somebody, someone important actually makes something and wakes everybody up.
Because if that was the case, then the WWE would be a much different company than what it is now.
Right? And I know I'm going to regret
Wrestling.
asking this. I know I'm going to regret asking this, but without going into any wrestling stories, how would it be different?
How would it be different?
Yes.
Quite simply, kayfabe would be back. Kayfabe would have never been lost, and the product would be focused on a lot different wrestlers than what it's focused on right now.
Okay. That's logical.
Brock Lesnar would not have been the champion for the last 5 years.
No, you're right.
I'll tell you what, I stopped watching wrestling when The Rock came back and completely flopped.
Would that be the first John Cena thing, the year of build? Would that be the time?
No, it's when The Rock was gone and then John
Orville
Cena
Nation,
took
I'm
over.
sorry. Hello, I'm sorry. How long were you back there? I just.
Yeah.
Hey, Orville.
Hey, Orville.
Hi, Orville.
Hey guys, how are you? Just wanted to say hi.
Hey.
Good morning.
Welcome to the panel.
Morning, sir.
What's going on, PJ?
What's going on? Thanks for, by the way, thanks for all of you for participating either on the panel or in the chat yesterday. That was fun.
No problem.
That was quite
Anytime.
enjoyable.
Will do.
I'm loving LDG's background.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress. We're getting there.
I like it. Yeah. And actually, he does excellent computer tech support. So that's, if you know anybody who needs that, definitely recommend him.
And and to Mr. Lindell's comments, I'm sorry, but in my opinion, the Borg were not wrecked by Picard. The Borg were cheapened and overused and long since been stepped on by Voyager long before Picard did it.
You'll get no argument from me rambling.
No, you're right. None.
That's true.
No argument.
Stepped on and
I gotta say, Enterprise did really well with the Borg. I really enjoyed.
I haven't got there yet.
Regeneration was awesome.
Yep. Just wait till you get there.
It was not only was it awesome, but it gave a good clue on how that could have, because now they had Borg technology that we didn't know that they had. The Federation.
So anything coming up on Orville Nation?
Well, I don't know if you guys saw my crazy ass post that I did last night and this morning. But
I might have, but do refresh our memory.
it's I'm having a stream tonight, and I it's an open stream. I invited Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, Conan O'Brien. It's going to be a stream to give advice to all the big talk show hosts on becoming YouTubers because they're having a hard time. So we'll see what happens.
They missed their writing room.
They miss all the 50 people supporting them. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean I got to ad lib? That went out in the 90s. Anyway.
So there's like basic stuff that they're not doing, that they're not even realizing that they're not doing. And it's basically just engaging with their audience. I mean, they got to where they are by engaging with the audience, and now they're just talking to a camera. They could at least be engaged on a live stream with a chat at the very least. So
Yeah.
True.
it's like they're afraid of live streaming.
They got to get that teleprompter right, and the plants in the chat. There you go. They'll be good. Got to get that teleprompter and the plant in the chat, so that when they read a chat, it's already been pre-discussed.
Yeah.
Which is doable. Very doable.
So, who on this open panel would you have? Would you say you're most looking forward to having on?
Well, it's such a crazy time that I'm going to put that invitation out there. I don't know anybody because I have to put it out in public. Anybody could come into the chat room, to be honest. But
Yeah.
it would be I don't know. It'd be pretty cool if Conan would come on.
Bird of Prey 5 is backstage.
Hey,
And Ramlin, I don't know if you want to address Mr. Lundell's latest comment. He says, I said nothing about the Borg were not used, Ramlin. I was pointing out how your defense of a cargo bay and a Borg cube is incorrect.
I guess that's just subjective, because we could argue back and forth on the on whether it could be or couldn't be. The fact is, they put it in the show. So whether we agree, so we can agree or disagree on whether it makes sense or whether they should have or they shouldn't have done it. The fact is, they did it.
Well, he made a prior comment. He says, go back and watch the TNG episode where the Borg were introduced. Listen to Data's description of it.
Okay.
And I think he's referring to the, it's very generalized in design. There's no distinctive
markings. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Thank you
again,
for bringing that brain cell back. I remember that.
We're going ahead in time.
The problem is that was an older Borg cube.
Yeah.
I think it's very stupid what they did, but you can't argue that it's impossible. I mean, why would you even have a cargo hold on the Borg ship? Why would you have Borg, whatever those are, chambers inside a cargo bay that could be vented to space? But
they're
bad decisions, but you can't say that it's not possible.
Yeah, like I may not like the choice that was made, but I can just go, okay, well, all right. Well,
what does Borg need? Cargo? Is there even kind of cargo that Borg would even be interested in?
Sure. They have tractor beams, do they not?
Yeah, but what would they need a cargo bay for?
To bring in a ship and strip it down.
But that's a shuttle bay. That's not a cargo bay.
So they have a bigger.
Drill into the Enterprise.
We all know they have a shuttle bay.
Episode and
sphere comes out of, right? So it does have a shuttle bay.
They also drilled into the Enterprise in that first episode that they were introduced in, Q-Who, and brought that aboard their vessel.
Yeah, like
so they would have a cargo bay of some sort.
Yep. So
I thought that was just a drill out. They actually took that.
Yeah, they did take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw it coming out of the ship.
That's all I saw, I think.
Well, they wanted to analyze the Enterprise, see its construction and that sort of thing. So they drilled out a piece of it.
Yeah, I thought they were just trying to damage it because the next place they hit was engineering, trying to break their warp core.
Yeah. So I mean, to say that it was a brilliant stroke of writing is nothing I will ever argue. However, to say, well, no, it can't happen, it's stupid, no, it never isn't feasible, that I have a problem with. But no, I agree with you. It was the dumbest waste of drones ever. But
yeah, I mean, overall, it's not even worth fighting over the little bit when the overall is bad. Like the whole point of it was bad.
Me,
I'm not going to stick over the detail of it.
Yeah, like for me, it wasn't a big deal because they were never a major plot point for me.
And we knew. I'm pretty sure everybody knew this story wasn't gonna be about the Borg. The Borg was not the big and bag. The Borg was supposed to be the in the middle entertainment. Something was gonna happen. You led up to it, and you didn't do jack squat.
In a lot of ways, I look at the Borg cube as a planet where they had to pick somebody up. That's what the Borg cube essentially became.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the Romulans were actually doing with it.
See, and
They don't know what they were doing.
Yeah,
It looked like they were
Their
taking it
entire
apart.
timeline makes no sense. When we first see the Borg cube, there's a sign that says no
Yeah.
assimilations in
Mhm.
8,000 something days. And if you do that, that's 16 years.
Well,
But then
that's Earth
when
years. I don't know if that's Romulan years. Did the planets have the
well,
same?
they put it in English, so
yeah.
Oh yeah, you did. You're right. They did.
whatever. But then when they do the flashback and Ramda touches the PVC pipe of knowledge, that was only 14 years ago. And then, which means she wasn't assimilated until less than 14 years ago, which means that wouldn't have been the Borg cube she was assimilated on. But it was the Borg cube that drove that cube mad. So the
Yeah.
entire timeline.
Another
falls apart.
inconsistency that needed to be spell checked. Another plot check loophole.
But we have inconsistency right across any show.
Yeah, but that's a pretty big one.
Yeah,
that is
that's
a big
a
one,
lazy one right there.
But
That's almost as lazy as not bringing the dog along with them when you made a big deal about the dog being part of the story in the first place.
well,
Well,
They
the
just
dog
say-
one I can understand. They intended to bring the dog, but it just didn't work out.
Because
Yeah.
they let the Jean-Luc bring the wrong dog. They didn't do
Well,
it right.
Yeah, I mean that was a mistake, but it wasn't laziness.
No. I'm sorry. That was
Laziness is-
incompetence. Yeah, you're right. My bad.
Is not yeah, that's just general incompetence.
Yes.
I
Did
mean, there
They
would
say
be
14
no
years.
nothing detrimental to the story if on the flashback they said 16 years ago instead of 14 years ago. Wouldn't have changed a single thing, except it would have made everything make sense, at least in terms of their own
Yeah.
numbers.
yeah,
Yeah, you don't have a
it's
brain
just
fart
slip.
trying to sync up the
Yeah,
plot.
it's a slip up. Yeah, it's a slip up. I'll give it to you. That's a slip up. But overall, I like the general most of the storylines within season 1, especially when it came to Picard. Rios was told awesomely, for the most part.
Hey, Cinnabon.
Yeah, and I can't wait for season 2. I haven't given up on Picard. I've almost given up on CBS, given Star Trek the respect and time and quality it deserves, but I haven't given up on Picard. I'll watch season 2. I just really wish Trekkies around the world alike would write to CBS and tell them you better get season 2 right.
And I'm not saying they will, but they have time. They can fix some of these issues from season 1 in season 2 or season 3 if it goes that far.
If we all got together, we'd be able to do it. And the number one thing on everybody's list, if people are watching, 10 episodes is an absolute insult. That's the first thing they need to fix.
It depends on the industry and what they allow.
It depends on who's in charge.
There's only so much money, LDG. That's the problem.
That's a cop out. I'm sorry, I can't.
It's a
can't
cop out.
accept
So
that.
they're supposed to pull money out of where?
They find way. Banks can make money from no money. I mean, banks can make money from money. Money's not an excuse. You can get money. Money for these people is possible.
So give Picard an unlimited budget is what we're going for?
No,
Well,
absolutely not.
that's what you're saying. We're going to
You-
make an
oh, wait,
unlimited
I'm sorry,
budget.
John Luke. I
until-
thought you meant like John Luke specifically.
We're
But
going
don't
to
give Picard the show unlimited money. All I'm saying is find a way to make it more 10 episodes. Because as far as I can, you could have cut the money that they put into the Borg
Okay,
to
so
make an extra 3 episodes easy. I'm sure.
Okay, so would you be happy if they cut the whatever CGI they were going to do, they take that out and they make more episodes, but the CGI is absolutely atrocious.
Okay, if the CGI is equal to what like older Star Trek, it's not atrocious. Let me tell you something.
I
The
didn't
ship
say
fight
that.
in
That's not what I
DS9
said.
was okay. I'm sorry. What I'm trying to say, if you're cutting money from CGI, it's not going to look atrocious because the CGI in DS9 during the Dominion War was absolutely phenomenal compared to any scene in Star Trek Picard for the most part. Because even when the Federation came in, that looked like junk. They should have asked for a refund. Whoever did all those Picard ships and the Romulan ships, it was horrible. It was ugly. It was obviously not done right.
It was Discovery
tactful.
jump in. Yeah.
Absolutely tactful. Anybody who does a Photoshop or does any kind of graphics, you saw what they did with those ship copying, and there was no originality whatsoever. It literally looked like they just hit Control V, C, V, 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 V. That's it. It was not worth $1 million. I would have asked for my money back. That was horrible. Look at DS9. That one battle when they were breaking the line, you know what I mean? When they had Cardassia, the main ship fight, that was awesome, absolutely beautiful. Didn't cost a super $110 million. It looked beautiful.
Okay,
yes.
but you're comparing two different industries. You're comparing industry then to industry now.
But it's backwards
And if
compatible.
you filmed that same shot in DS9 today, triple their budget.
No way. How?
Yes way. Triple
Enlighten
their
me.
budget.
Please enlighten me. How? How does things become more expensive in the future?
Because of the way
Okay, no, I
they do
actually
it.
know the answer to the question of that. But I mean, I'm talking
The way
about
they do it.
instance.
Quite honestly, it's
But you
the way
don't do it differently. You do it the same way. That costs the same money. I was completely happy. Like if you go back to that, matter of fact, if you get the DS9, what is it?
Okay,
the
then I will
documentary.
put LDG.
Did you see that?
LDG.
Yeah.
I will
What's
put
up?
it to you this way.
Sure.
That may work for you. Okay. But then the complaint is not going to be that the CGI is bad. It's going to be, really? They're going back to that? Why aren't they using the modern tech?
Really doubt that.
No, I don't.
I do.
I don't. That will be the
Would
argument.
anybody here right now care about that? Please make a note. Anyone in chat?
Modern audience would.
Oh, yeah. Guaranteed. What is this?
Okay.
Why aren't they
See,
using
that's the thing. It's funny
modern
too because
3D?
when they remastered it, which still only costed a little bit more, not compared to what they actually spent on Picard. And if you look at that documentary from DS9, they remastered in.
No, I can't
full
speak
HD.
to that. That would be Bird that would speak to that because I can't because I didn't.
Bird,
see
did
it.
you see it?
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is beyond beautiful. It is absolutely
Many, many
stunning, and I
times.
refuse to believe that anyone would say that is old CG.
Now the,
The
HD
remastering they
version
did
of
to
that
that,
space
it looked
battle is better than anything I saw in Picard.
Beautiful.
Better
Yeah,
than
beats
anything I saw
Picard.
in Discovery, but that's the
Yes.
HD version of it.
It's remastered. It's the remastered version of it. Yes, it's the same thing, though, right? I mean,
Well, they went because they filmed it on 35 millimeter, so they
Yeah, they had
rescanned
enough.
it at higher definition. Yeah.
Oh,
and,
I
and
thought
they had to they rescanned it, but they also remastered, and enhanced it as well.
To be honest, that particular scene, the battle from I think it's Sacrifice of Angels, that was actually on YouTube. Somebody remastered it themselves, and they just licensed the footage for that for the documentary. That
oh,
HD
I think
footage
that's
was
what they
actually-
did.
That particular battle footage was floating around for years. The rest of it, where they do the actual, scenes with the actors, that they all rescanned themselves.
Okay. Yeah, because I did see them doing the process where it was the original footage film where it was bigger than the square, and you can see where they centered it originally, and they
Yeah.
redid it. Yeah. So, but you're telling me the battle scene, that's actually like somebody did it for free?
I don't know if they did it. I assume they did it for free. Like
Beautiful. Thank you.
It
All
was
right.
like
So we're
a
good then.
Motion house or something.
I
Probably
didn't.
more. Probably
thought
more
they
the
did
way
it
to get a job
themselves.
than for free. But yeah.
I mean, like I said, I think it would have been better. They would save money and get more episodes. But these companies can find way to make money. It's a fact. Okay, they could have gotten Picard more than 10 episodes, and especially now that we've watched the first season. Second season better get more than 10 episodes.
I'm sure they could have, but for whatever reason they didn't. I mean, the new norm is 10 to 12 episodes for things.
Only for first season ones, and then they get more or less depending if they're, because I've seen it all the time. They get more episodes of season two
on
if they're good.
network television, maybe,
on
but
network.
I've never seen it.
No, on Netflix.
On
Seeing it on
Netflix?
Netflix. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
They went from like 11 to all the way up to 16, and then the last two seasons it went down like back to 14, and I think the last season was 13. So like it does fluctuate. I mean, I'd have to pull up Netflix right now and actually give you examples, but I know it's a fact. I've seen it.
I know that. Okay, I do know that they have longer seasons than 10 episodes on
Yes.
Netflix. Okay, but I think we have seen the end of the 26 episode season.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Right
that's
or
gone.
wrong?
That's
That's
dead.
Right
Yeah,
or wrong?
that's beyond gone because the CGI budget destroyed the hell out of that. But
See, and the other thing I would point out is, okay, if we're going to compare like terms, then okay, yes, there are shows that have seasons that are 15, 16, 18 episodes. How much of a CGI budget do those shows need?
Yeah, the 16 episode shows I can think of are not CGI heavy shows.
Right? If
You
you're
know,
going to have
Orville, that's a comparable series. That's 12 episodes.
yeah.
and I,
So
and I
is
agree with you.
Mandalorian, it's 8.
90% of the stuff everyone's complaining about is not the CGI. We're complaining about the plot, storylines, plot holes, not having enough substance
Well, I am
in the
complaining
episode.
a little bit about the lack of spaceships and stuff. So that is a little bit the CGI.
A little bit, but most of it is. Well, what I'm trying to say, most of it isn't. Most of it is the plot holes, the laziness, the no spell checking, the acting. It's not about the CGI. Star Trek is,
But
yeah, it does
see,
have CGI, but
the problem I have is what you're arguing about is something that we could sit here and we could argue until the
Hell
world
comes
blows
home.
up, because what you're arguing about in that certain points are the subjective parts of the show. And by that I mean everything lands differently. Some people will see a certain storyline and it'll be awesome to them. Some people will see that same storyline and it'll be that's garbage. Right? It depends on the person. So in that sense, it's the subjective parts of the show, which I will grant you. I can respect that you didn't like it. I did. I got more out of it than you did. That's just the way it is, because it landed differently than it landed for you. And that's where we end up with these arguments that can go around and around and around and around and around, and you'll never get anywhere, because it's the way it landed for me will not be the way it landed for you. Does that make sense?
oh, absolutely. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, personally, I got a lot out of it. I mean, even the things I don't like, I liked not liking it. So I'm if I didn't like it, I wouldn't even be on this channel right now. you know what I mean? If there's a difference between not liking something and choosing not to watch it. Just like WWE when Edge came out. I hated Edge, but I still watched it. And next thing you know, I found myself wanting to watch Edge. I wanted to fucking, go in there.
That's a great,
Hey, Cinnamon.
Q. Yay, Q.
Hello.
I got to drop off, guys. I got to get my Cinema Saturday going.
Yep.
I
No
will,
problem, Bird.
What
Talk
time?
to you guys later.
What time we get it
If
going
I
on?
miss your, sorry, Captain.
In the
Trek.
next few minutes. I told people I'd do it around 2:00 Eastern.
Okay, well, I might have to dip out because I gotta watch
10
WrestleMania.
minutes ago.
So, because I have to, I have to review it with Drew. So,
Have fun watching WrestleMania. I'll be
Oh, it
watching
is.
Back to the Future 3.
I think you're gonna get a better show.
I agree. And
Okay.
we'll be joining you, Bird. So
Oh, cool. Well, thank you. You don't have to. I mean, you guys got a good stream going here.
it's been going almost 3.5 hours, so it's about time
look
to.
at that. Okay. Well, I'll see you guys over there then.
All right,
Okay.
take it easy,
Yeah.
Bird.
Kapla.
Oh, buddy.
I like what Thomas Potts says. He says, cancel Discovery, use that money for Picard.
Absolutely, I'm on board.
I'm on board too.
You will not get any argument from me.
Oh, okay. I gotta.
The unknowner, welcome. But yeah, you'll get no argument from me.
There we
Da
go.
bunny. Da bunny.
Got buddy screen time. Yay.
Da bunny.
Mr. Lundell, I agree with you as well. He says if you have a great story in the first place, then you don't have to put a lot into the eye candy. And that's what I loved about classic Doctor Who. You know, the effects were wonky, but they had great stories. And I love classic Doctor Who.
And I'll go with you on that too. The problem I think nowadays is you have too many cooks in the kitchen. When it comes to the writers, you have too many cooks in the kitchen. Where like before your writing room used to be one, like, okay, these 3 people are writing episode 2, or this one person is writing episode 2. Where now you have 5 people writing episode 2.
Mm-hmm. And you have, 12 executive producers?
Yeah, exactly. And all that is a damn title. That's all it is. They didn't do anything. They just got the title. But yeah, I mean that's the writing rooms have gotten too big. There's too many people contributing. There's too many different ideas going into one thing, and that's why it's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to do this, and people are going to get mad at me, but it's the same thing that happened to WWE. I'm in a wrestling mode because I'm starting to gear up for WrestleMania.
Oh, yes.
We squared the circle again.
Yeah.
Yes, we have. And on that note, since we do need to get going for Birdstream,
yep.
I will just say thank you all for coming. And I am so glad that you all have spent the time here with us. Have a great day. And on your way out, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd be appreciative.
Definitely give them a thumbs up. And thanks, Captain Trek, for letting me come on twice. And take her easy, my friend.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Thank you again.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Cap.